Guys, welcome back to Kind of Funny Studio Ghibli Miyazaki in review. That's right, we are ranking and reviewing every movie written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the big dog, Kevin Coelho.
Oh, whoa.
The Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Good morning, everybody.
The Matchy, Nick Scarpino. Show it off. Show off your pride right now. Look at how perfectly
He's
matched
so
his
matching.
hat and t-shirt is.
He's like an
He's
like an elementary school student.
Show us your shirt. Show us your shirt.
Miko,
this,
show me
Mom?
that. Miko, show the shirt I bought you. Show him to it.
I gotta go geeky.
And joining us once again is Ubisoft's own Belinda Garcia.
What's up? What's up?
You know, I put the hat and the shirt on this morning, and I was like, "This feels like a mistake," but I'm going to do it,
It's
and
not.
I'm going to throw it on, and we'll see what people.
Looks great.
We're not making fun of you.
To be clear to you, Nick, no one here was making fun of you for the matching. They were making fun of you for how you showed the
Oh
shirt.
no, I know, but you guys understand that if I give you jackals anything to talk about, you'll find a way to insult me.
Yeah, you're on this. Hey, you're with us, motherfucker.
Oh,
I think
I'm
you're
one of
the
the
worst
jackals
one of
usually.
us.
Yeah.
We learned from you.
Absolutely. Sharks smell blood. If it's my blood, well, whatever, it's fine. It happens.
Exactly. This show happens every Friday right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and Tuesday. Next week, we're actually flipping the script a little bit. We're going to do another Miyazaki in review for Howl's Moving Castle on Tuesday. And then on Friday, we're going to do the new Mulan movie that's coming out on Disney+. That's very exciting stuff. Then after that, it'll flip back to the normal schedule of Miyazaki on Fridays because we're switching over to Batman in review on Tuesdays. Very excited for that. We're doing a whole bunch of Batman movies, every theatrically released Batman movie.
After a full week of animated features, let's get some testosterone in this fucking review. You know what I mean? Let's get some Batman
Absolutely.
beating up dudes, murdering
Throw
people.
a little bit of
Absolutely.
Arnold sprinkled on top. You know what I mean?
But we are starting with
That's gotta
Batman.
be a while.
Nice to meet you.
So
There you go.
there'll just be a lot of
Nice.
tights. A lot of tights on.
I've
Young
never
man
seen
is-
the first one.
The
be
90,
exciting.
89 Batman?
No.
66.
Oh gosh, yeah, that one's a hard one to get through, but it's
Yeah.
That one's fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Not great.
I've never seen it.
It's going to be good. Anyways, you can watch the show live on Twitch, or you can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. You can also listen. Just search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny reviews, and we'll be right there for you. Please leave the good reviews. We'd very much appreciate that. If you want to get the show ad-free, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like our Patreon producer, Muhammad did. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Today,
Muhammad.
we're talking about Spirited Away, released on July 20th, 2001, once again directed by Hayao Miyazaki. A whole bunch of fun facts for this one based
I'm
on him
excited.
directing here. After announcing his retirement in 1997, the filmmaker took friends of his to a mountain cabin. His friend's daughter and her peers inspired Miyazaki as they were on the verge of adolescence and extremely apathetic. The auteur decided he needed to make a movie for 10-year-old girls. There wasn't a lot out there for them. Their magazines were heavily focused on romance and crushes, and I felt this was not what they held dear in their hearts, not what they wanted, the filmmaker recalled. And so I wondered if I could make a movie in which they could be heroines. Miyazaki wanted a movie that was made for regular 10-year-old girls. The main character had to be ordinary with no special abilities or traits. The girls needed someone human to relate to and show them that they could be heroines too. The main character was made with the girls from the cabin in mind. Every time I wrote or drew something concerning the character of Chihiro and her actions, I asked myself the question whether my friend's daughter or her friends would be capable of doing it. That's a pretty cool, jump
That's
off
rad.
point, you know?
That's rad.
This is the
awesome.
first of his 12th retirements, right?
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
7.
Yeah,
There
That
have been
reminds me
7.
of William Goldberg back in the day. He was an 80s screenwriter and novelist. Was going on a trip, and he used to write stories for his daughters, and his daughters didn't want him to go on this trip, and he said, well, I'll write you a story when I'm on the trip. What do you want it to be about? One of his daughters is a princess, and the other one said a bride, so he wrote The Princess Bride for them.
That's really cool. But when you
Yeah.
started this story, I thought you knew Goldberg's first name or something, the wrestler. I was like,
Bill
oh.
Goldberg.
Yeah, Bill Goldberg.
I
is
was
his
like,
first
oh,
name.
I didn't know he had a first name.
That's hilarious. But yeah, a lot of similarities between Miyazaki and Jay-Z, including the retirements. But also this extremely fun fact that I'm surprised it took me this long to realize, but I think that it's a crazy one for this movie, but then retroactively looking back, it's very impressive. Despite having a rich plot with developed characters, Spirited Away was not made with a script. In fact, Miyazaki's films have never had scripts. Quote, I don't have the story finished and ready when we start work on a film. For a fucking animated film. What the hell?
That's
like inefficient.
I usually don't have the time.
Risky.
So the story develops when I start drawing storyboards. The production starts very soon thereafter while the storyboards are still developing. Quote, Miyazaki does not know where the plot is going, and he lets it happen organically. It's not me who makes the film. The film makes itself, and I have no choice but to follow.
That's
awesome.
really cool. That's a really
the
cool
coolest
thing to
anyone's ever
say,
said.
and
Fuck
a very,
yeah.
very terrifying thing to like a way to work
Yeah.
because it's like
Oh yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot
If you're
of
an
movies go
investor.
to shit because they don't have stories done
Oh, yeah.
first.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
it's just crazy. But I don't know if you understand my reference to Jay-Z there, Nick, but I might teach you something today. Did you know
Please
that
do.
Jay-Z does not ever write down his lyrics?
I think
all
you
up here.
told me that a long time ago, and that made me feel so much more inferior to Jay-Z than I already
wow.
did.
So yeah,
Well, it's like-
Jay-Z,
it's like-
Miyazaki. Where's the
It's like
collab?
having the waiter. It's like having the waiter that's like,
Oh.
I got your order somewhere. It's
I
like, well, there's
hate-
there's 8 of us, and there's about 18 appetizers. So maybe get a little pen and pad, figure it out.
I had that moment literally happened to me like last week. I went to a little Vietnamese restaurant up in Pac Heights, and they're doing the thing where you can order there, but the cash register is 10 feet behind them. And I'm like, I don't see a pen and paper. And my wife and I ordered the weirdest shit possible. So please. And she had to run back and forth like 5 times to ask me the question. I was like, I don't like this
It's
at all.
ridiculous.
The food was delicious.
I wish if Jay-Z was your waitress, it would have been
He
good.
would have fucking knocked it out of the park.
Or Greg Miller.
Once again, music by Joe Hisai Ishii. Budget of $19.2 million. And this is where shit gets crazy, ladies and gentlemen. A box office of $352.32 million. It became the most successful and highest grossing film in Japanese history to this day.
I remember this is the first time I heard of Miyazaki because I remember seeing Spirited Away like everywhere when it came out. I never watched it. This is my first time, but I remember like being like, "That's cool." It was the first time I thought or conceived of the concept that like you could just make a narrative movie that wasn't about people fucking beating the shit out of each other and have an anime tell a story like that. You know what I mean? Like because everything I had been drawn to, other than like I had been drawn to things like Ninja Scroll or like Castle Cagliostro, which were goofy. But this was like
what was the movie that people said in chat that Nick would love, Vietnam Warrior 7 or
47.
okay. That was for 80s live action movie. That was to make fun of me for always bringing up Hard to Kill, which I stand by.
Hey, that's a good point, Nick.
I
Great
stand
point.
by. I stand by that.
The chat is telling me that I'm wrong about that and that your name beat it a year or two ago. So the list that I was looking at must have been out of date then. So it is now number 2. But still, extremely impressive stuff. And this is the first film to earn $200 million in grosses before opening in America. So that's insane. A lot of money being made by this. And a big part of that kind of had to do with it being the first kind of major pushed one in America, close enough to the Japanese release where it wasn't like a release many years later type situation. Pixar animator John Lasseter, a fan and friend of Miyazaki, convinced Walt Disney Pictures to buy the film's North American distribution rights and served as executive producer of its English dub version. Lasseter then hired Kirk Wise as director and Donald Ernst as producer, while screenwriters Cindy and Donald Hewitt wrote the English language dialogue to match the original character's intent and Japanese language lip movements. Those people are all stars from Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Little Mermaid. Advertising was limited, with Spirited Away being mentioned only in a small scrolling section of the film section of Disney.com. Disney had sidelined their official website for Spirited Away and given the film a comparatively small promotional budget. The reason for this was because Studio Ghibli had retention of the merchandising rights to the film and characters, which limited Disney's ability to properly market the film. So they were pretty much like, we're just going to put it out because we believe in it, but like we're not really going to back it. So like,
we can't make money off of it.
Movie could have done a lot better had they given it the proper
Disney
push.
bump.
But that's pretty.
Has
Yeah,
there-
they had the true Disney bump. But that's
Has
cool.
there ever
man.
been an anime that originated in Japan that Disney gave a huge bump to like that? Because usually most of the movies I think of that are huge Disney movies aren't acquired. They're always done in house, right?
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little weird with how many people like they've acquired over time. But
That's
I mean,
true.
even then, I guess it's all most of those are still based in America at this point. But runtime of 2 hours and 5 minutes. And for awards, there's a whole bunch of them. It won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature at the 75th Academy Awards, making it the first and to date only hand-drawn and non-English language animated film to win that award. In 2016, it was voted the fourth best film of the 21st century by the BBC, as picked by 177 film critics from around the world, making it the highest-ranking animated film on the list. And in 2017, it was named the second best film of the 21st century so far by the New York Times. So a lot of praise on this one.
It beat Lilo and Stitch for the Oscar that year.
And Treasure Planet, correct?
Yeah. I love Treasure Planet, man. It's disappointing.
I don't even know what Treasure Planet is. What's Treasure Planet?
It's Treasure Island in
movie.
space.
That's pretty cool.
Sick,
It's
dude.
Does it have Muppets?
really
Literally
cool,
that.
yeah.
Literally
And
exactly that.
it's 2D mixed with 3D in a really cool way, but nobody watched it.
There was
Yeah.
a slump where
Yeah.
Treasure Planet and Atlantis didn't get the love
Yeah.
that I think it deserved. You know?
Both movies were fantastic.
This is funny because I thought I when you said this, I had that shot of the guy from Atlantis, and it kind of looks very
Milo?
similar. Was that the one where there
Milo's
was
his
like
name,
yeah?
It had the
yeah.
girl with the blue stuff that I had a huge.
Kid
fan
Eye-
of.
Yeah. We all
Damn, you guys
fell
know a
in love
lot
with
about this era.
We all love
Then
that
a fun thing about that actually is the voice of Chihiro is the voice of Lilo.
Yeah, it is.
So she had a good year.
Did you recognize the voice of Hoku? Hoku?
Oh, yeah.
Haku?
Yeah, Haku.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you recognize him as the voice of Binks from Hocus Pocus?
I most certainly did. I was like,
Did you recognize
huh.
him as the voice of Max from a Goofy movie?
Yes, of course.
Fuck yeah, man. What a,
Do you
did you
recognize
recognize
the
him
voice
as the best friend of Eric Matthews in the first couple seasons of Boy Meets World? Yeah. He's a real person. He's not just a voice. It's crazy.
The voice of Lynn. Do you recognize the voice of Lynn?
No, who was Lynn?
Meg from Hercules.
Oh yeah, of course.
Susan
Hercules,
Egan.
yeah.
Oh, that was Susan Egan. Susan Egan did Little Mermaid too, right? Or no?
No.
Why do I know Susan? What she's been. On a bunch
She
of
was
things.
Belle in
Hercules.
the Broadway Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay, because I know
That's
I
not
know
why
her
you know
name.
it.
No,
That's
I
right.
I know the name Susan Egan, and I couldn't remember if she was like why I know that, but I know she's pretty famous. Did you guys also see that John Ratzenberger's in this?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. God bless him. He should be in every Disney movie. Did you just fit him
He's
in?
in every Pixar movie.
I know, and it's a travesty that he's not in every movie. Period. Just across the board, put him in everything.
But the voice of the main character, Chihiro, who's also Lilo, is also Samara from The Ring.
Mm.
So she's
Right,
the
the
girl
kid.
coming out of the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's
She's
terrifying.
crazy, man.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Lauren
that's
Holly.
crazy.
Michael Chiklis from The Shield.
I don't like thinking
This got a
about
great
it.
cast to it.
It really
Yeah.
does.
It really,
But
really
all
does.
these movies do. Like they
They found a way.
some casting directors really nailed it. You know?
Remember when Michael Keaton was a flying pig? That was sick as
Just the
hell.
pig.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's nailing this, guys. Can we get anyone else but Michael Keaton? This is but he was Batman. Yeah, but Batman and a flying pig are not necessarily the same thing.
You love to see
Still
it.
go on to be Birdman.
Pretty close.
Birdman was
Dude.
great.
So this was my first time watching Spirited Away, and I've heard more praise for this one than any of the other ones, obviously because of the awards and all that stuff, and it being the cultural phenomenon that it has become. And so it's like I've seen imagery from this, I've seen the no face guy, and like I've just seen general kind of like clips of it. I had no idea what this movie was, and that became clear to me about 5 minutes into this.
And I
Where-
still don't.
And it was just a roller coaster that, guys, I was in the entire way where I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude.
I love the world that they created. The main character, every single thing that she does is believable. And like the whole quote that I just read about like the origin of this movie, seeing her, just the way she's animated, the way she kind of acts or moves, it's like last week I said everything about Princess Mononoke just felt like the culmination of everything Miyazaki had learned in previous movies. This one feels like a new step forward where it's like, all right, I'm going to take all that stuff and do something so freaking cool and just commit to the weirdness in a way that somehow it's so weird it comes out the other side and isn't weird anymore. I just buy it.
This movie reminds me of when they used to make movies for kids in the 80s. But if you watch them now, you're like, this is not a kids movie. This is psychotic. This is like
This is
it
weird.
was back in the day when they used to just trust that kids, like, oh, kids will be okay. Let's show them this horrible images from like I got mad witches vibe from this, which is that
Return
like,
to
British
Oz?
movie. Return to Oz for sure. That's a great touchstone for this.
I felt like we had a lot of Alice in Wonderland and
Definitely. Like
There's-
the Alice
oh,
in Wonderland is a good one too,
Pinocchio,
but,
like the
but not like
donkey.
the new Alice in
Mhm.
Wonderland, like the old one where like you're like someone's gonna die in this. Someone's gonna
The
get
amount-
massacred
Wait,
in
what?
this.
There's a new and an old one?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Johnny
got. Yeah,
Depp.
I see what you're
Johnny
saying.
Depp.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
bad.
the Johnny Depp ones are
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just the sort of weird imaginative animation reminded me a lot of when I was really freaked out in the episode of Rugrats where Tommy Pickles had a fever and he had these crazy nightmares.
Yeah,
The
fever.
big baby.
And- Yeah, the big baby.
Oh man.
And
The
also-
big old baby.
The big baby, voiced by
Tara
Tara
Strong.
Tara Strong.
Yeah.
That's right.
who's the voice
Wild.
of Tommy
Literally
Pickles.
everyone.
Wow.
But that all comes full circle, Tim.
Wow.
I know.
You know, I like this movie because a lot, and I think this actually might be spoilers, might be my favorite of his so far, and I think it's because it doesn't follow the same formula that the other ones have followed, and I think this is like definitely a departure from because like the other ones kind of have that classic Hollywood formula where like it's gonna go this, the character's gonna have that midpoint, and then they're gonna go through. This one is more like you're just seeing this world through her eyes, and the character development happens like kind of with everyone else. His characters, it's less about her journey and more about how people are reacting to her pureness and her being in this world. And man, it's so, I mean, you can definitely see that he was like, I just want this to be an image and this to be an image and this to be an image. And the story is, there's not much of a story here. It's just more about like the creativity and the like the weirdness of this world and how it all plays into this character's journey. And like one of the things I really love is there's that moment where she looks down and she sees the train at the beginning, and then when she sees it again, it's just like covered in water. And that image to me is so cool because it's so it's contradictory, right? You would never put a train tracks underwater because that just makes no sense to do. But those things are just like where this world is. It's so freaking cool.
Belinda, this obviously seems to be a movie you care about a lot based on your home decor.
Yes, I watched this movie when I was younger, so I remembered all of the characters, like the No Face and the dragon and all of that. But then I watched it again this week, and it hit me in a way that I wasn't prepared for, especially the ending. But I kind of love that, you know, they don't really bombard you with the world. The world is so dense and there's so much to take in, but you're kind of learning about it through her eyes. And I think that's where I got really, really attached to it, and I love it. I love it even more this time.
The world is actually based on a real place that you can go to in Taiwan.
That's cool.
And it's like a couple like alleyways and stuff.
Terrifying.
And like I was looking at some pictures of it. I'm like, oh my God, it looks exactly like that. Like it's so, again, like just starting this movie off where it's just like them in the car and it's kind of just big grassy fields, very traditional Miyazaki. And then you go through this tunnel and all of a sudden it's like, we're in this like weird
You're literally
semi-theme
through the
park
looking
thing.
glass, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you bringing up the 80s movies, Nick. Like that really is why I vibe so much with this. Like it reminded me of like Babes in Toyland and like all just like so many just weird 80s or not even 80s movies, but like the movies I grew up with.
This
that are just like
reminded me of Time Bandits, where I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like it was about a kid, but it was not a kid's movie. But I watched it when I was a kid because my parents thought it was a kid's movie. And then I was like, I don't think I should be watching this. This is fucking scary as shit. And
I
it's
can't
weird.
imagine.
And people get turned into pigs.
I can't
Oh, yeah,
imagine watching
immediately.
this movie as a kid. Like it was scary as an
It's
adult.
gross.
Where I just
I
had
don't know
moments
how to
where I
do
was
it
like,
at
I'm
all.
very uncomfortable. Like if I saw my parents turn into pigs like that.
What's
I wa-
interesting. Sorry, go ahead. Henry.
I was just like so attached to it because I couldn't take my eyes off the screen because it was so unpredictable. And the next thing that happened you would have never seen because it reminds me of like you have a 5-year-old kid and you're like, and then what happened? And then the 3 heads turn into the baby. Like it just seemed like
Yeah.
The baby
like
turns into a mouse.
nonsense thrown at you, and it was so imaginative and beautiful, and like every piece of detail in the background is just so ridiculous. And these paintings that probably took forever to make went by in a split second, but everything was gorgeous. The only things I had issues with were how everything was resolved. It just kind of happened, and you're just kind of like, I believe that, but I'm still kind of bummed out that that's how it happened because, hey, I remember the river name now, and that's you. And then suddenly that's resolved. And then which are the pigs? Which ones are your parents? Oh, they're not here. All right, cool. That's the end of that. Like, it just all kind of like everything immediately was resolved in such a quick fashion that I wish there were some hints to that
me,
earlier.
It also
Go ahead, Kev.
I was gonna say it also seems like there are no rules where it was like, oh, who's this kid? Oh, he's the spirit of a river.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're in the spirit world or what? You know, like where it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah,
But
the
okay.
rules. Yeah, Kevin. Like,
But like he wouldn't have been a human, right? Because she's the only human there. They would have sniffed him out. So he had to be some sort of spirit.
I don't know. I thought there was gonna be a moment where like you find out that like after time, if a human gets stuck there, they turn into spirits. But I don't know.
Yeah, because
There's a lot of
again, there
guessing.
are no rules in
Yeah.
this world. They could just
Right.
anything could be anything, which
'Cause,
I
like,
think
that-
is
that-
part of the what makes this movie so special.
The girl
What?
looked like a human. Like she didn't look weird. I know that like she didn't. I mean, nobody said she was a human, but I always thought it was odd that she looked so human-like.
What girl?
The
Lynn?
one.
Lynn, yeah.
Most of
yeah.
them, yeah. Lynn looked like a human too.
Oh,
I think they just
yeah.
like embodied different looks. But to me, what I liked about this was the movie starts off where she's going through this obviously huge change, right? And this reminded me of when I was a kid, and I had to deal with big changes like that, big changes in dealing with like going to a different school. Like I remember when I used to go to Catholic school. And one day I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather go to a public school. That's like, I just don't like the vibe at this school. And I remember saying that to my parents. And then the next year they put me in a new school, and it felt like watching this movie where everything felt so foreign and so scary and so intimidating at first. And then after a while, it just becomes, you just get used to it. And then all of a sudden it's, that for me was a watershed moment where she goes, oh, I remember your name. You're the river spirit. Because at one point you do turn that corner and go, this is fine. This is normal. This is good. This is my life now. And I like it. And I can accept these things, and I can understand these things better. And I'm not scared of them anymore. And I think you see that through the main characters sort of like, I get her progression, right? Where first she's terrified of the world, then she accepts it, and then the world starts really appreciating her, and then it's time for her to move. She kind of like goes through it and moves on. It's really cool. It's really powerful stuff.
And he does
Yeah.
say her name in the beginning, and she's like, "How do you know my name?" And he's like, "I think
I
we've
don't
met
know.
before." So
Yeah.
or I don't
Yeah.
know.
He can't remember, and I love that they're down there for so long that they can't remember who they were
Yeah.
and like what their real their
It's
real
so
names give them
fucking
power
cool.
too, which is really really impressive as well.
Kev, what? This is your first time watching as well?
Yeah, so this was my first time. I thought I had watched it before. Turns out, nope. This was this
You
is
you
one that I
had no
never-
idea.
Yep. I thought it was really interesting, and it certainly when it ended, I was like, I want to like try to sit on it and kind of think about what the meaning of all of it was. So like to that point, I thought it was really interesting and really cool.
Yeah. Definitely. I can't wait to talk about the plot with you guys because like there's some things I don't understand. It is
It's
going to be
crazy.
fun.
Yeah.
Nick, let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be spirited away. We start with Chihiro. Is it Chihiro or Chihiro? I can't remember. She's looking at a bouquet of flowers that her best friend gave her as a goodbye present while her parents drive through their new neighborhood in the middle of nowhere. Chihiro's dad is trying to be super positive. And this is where I think we see our first instinct here of like, this is not a kid's movie because dad's trying to be super positive and mom is not helping at all.
She doesn't care.
She does not care. Mom's clearly the disciplinarian, Belinda, of the group. Dad's just trying to hold it all together. And you get the feeling that they had to move and it wasn't anyone's choice. Maybe dad had to get a new job. We don't know what's going on here, but nobody seems happy about this. And the flowers are dying.
I didn't get I didn't feel like he was a good dad. I got weird dad vibes.
Oh
from
yeah.
him.
Ranked
I mean,
very low on Joey's list.
Okay,
I have to
perfect.
imagine so.
Yeah.
It wasn't until
Good
I
build, though,
realized,
you know?
it wasn't until I
Built
realized
like
the
a
mom's
truck.
Oh yeah,
voice.
totally.
Yeah, she was impressed by the broad shoulders.
Well, but he had a little belly. He had a little dad bod as well, which we're not going to talk about.
You could tell he used to be like a linebacker in college.
Yeah, he used to play. He played some sport and then met the mom, and it was just like, I'm just going to slow down a little bit. Andy, you just slow down when you hit
You don't
40.
think she was an accidental baby?
No, I don't think so. I think it was one of those like, let's just have it and see what happens, and then they're like, oh, this kid's weird. Anyhow,
She's super nice. They're weird.
I was kind of against the mom here at first until I realized it was voiced by Lauren Holly, who is obviously known for being from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh yeah.
And the entire time, and she was also in a movie called The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which I love. But every time she spoke, I just kept hearing Samsonite. I was way off. Anyway,
started with an S though.
and dad takes a wrong turn and ends up in a forest with lots of small dead houses full of little spirits. The dad takes them out. He's like, oh, let's go see where this road goes to. I'm sure it goes to our house. Meanwhile, mom's looking over the house, clearly on another cliff over there. And she's like, I don't think these two roads connect. We are on two different mountains. I'm like looking at the house from a mile away. It doesn't matter.
He was like up
Dad's-
a hill.
Dad just got the Audi, and the Audi's got that Quattro technology, Kevin, and that technology. He's like, I got all-wheel drive, and Mom's like, fuck. He always says this. You can say this is the thing he always does, right? Guys, we can go up that road right now. I got all-wheel drive. But
they get to a point where it's as if the dad becomes possessed and loses all like care and safety, and
has
whatever
a death sentence.
Happens. Yeah,
he's going.
I feel like he's getting pulled to like they're being pulled to that. Like I feel like there's something that's driving them to go, because like there is the moment where the mom also like is like, come on, it's fine, let's go.
Yeah,
they both just lose all care, like all sense of care and for Chihiro, where they get out of the car and they just start walking down these like treacherous rock paths and rivers, and Chihiro's like tripping and shit, and they're like, hurry up. And like, she's hurt.
Everyone is super abusive to this girl for the first, 2 hours.
Just forget about her.
The mom is like also like, come on, let's go. And she's like, I'm scared. I don't want to go in this tunnel. She's like, all right, well, we'll see you on the other side.
Well, stay here then.
It's fucked up. You know what? I got a lot of Coraline vibes. Remind me a lot of Coraline, where like just the parents like freaky shit happens to them, and you wonder, what would I do in this situation?
That's so scared, dude. So
Can you imagine little Andy? Or even just big Andy, or whatever Andy is now.
Even 32-year-old Andy would be terrified.
32.
He just stares at you and then takes out a bottle of hairspray and just kind of sprays his hair. That's all he knows. That's his comfort. That's his binky. Is that your binky? That's my binky. At the end of the road, they come across an old temple. Dad just immediately wants to go to explore, but Chihiro's like, dude, we should not do this. And he's like, you're a scaredy cat. And then she runs to his side and is like, we're going down an old spooky tunnel that literally is like talking to me. We should be getting the hell out of here. And then Mom's like, stop being a wussy cat. Let's go. And she was like, okay, my parents are going to die today. Dad, leave me the keys. I'm going back to the Audi. Of course, they go in, they look inside, and they find a train station. Turns out the entire place is an abandoned theme park of some sort. And I'll tell you one thing right now. Every story that starts with an abandoned theme park.
Right there.
Just, you know what I mean,
Get
guys?
out.
So
It's not
just
a story
turn it off.
you want to be part of.
No.
It's going to become like an urban legend. Walk away.
100%.
Walk away.
100%. Of course, Chihiro wants to go back, but a gust of wind that sounds like a moan pushes them all forward. And then Dad smells something. And I'll tell you what, when Dad's hungry, guys, there's no stopping him. He thinks
I've been there.
He goes, hey, maybe this theme park's not abandoned after all. And then I love that there's a moment where it kind of cuts to Chihiro and she's like looking around. And it's just this decrepit, clearly abandoned theme park where if you smelled food, you'd be like, they're going to kill us and cook us. That's human food.
Totally.
That's human remains that they're cooking right now.
But like also it might be delicious, you know what I mean?
I mean, Kev, I'll tell you what, I watched this and I was hungry, and they get to this part where they walk through the promenade and they see the one restaurant that's open, and it's just this delicious buffet.
There's a scene where he's got the chopsticks and a piece of like
dumpling or something.
No, it's a giant piece of like, it's basically
like
bacon.
Baby duck. Oh,
it's basically bacon, and he eats it, and it's just like, oh man, pork belly. That's what it is. It's pork belly.
Yeah,
it looked delicious. All of this looks so good,
So
and
good.
it was animated great, and they were stuffing their faces. But I'm just also thinking, like, what is wrong with both of you?
Strange food.
It's too
No
late.
one's around.
But see, I love this again for me because like this is one of those things you feel when you're a kid, when your parents are like, you have to do this thing that you don't want to do, and you just feel like your parents aren't listening to you, and you can't stop them. And that is like the most scary, terrifying feeling is being like powerless because these two giants in your world that control every aspect of your life are making you do this thing you don't want to do.
I would have just left the parents as pigs, like just.
I'm telling you right now,
I'll stay here in the spirit world. You know,
yeah, spirit world's pretty cool, man. I'm starting to gain a name for myself in the spirit world, and people are starting to give me gold and all sorts of bath tokens. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah.
10, 15 years, Andy, I'm co-owner of this bathhouse.
Really? Wow.
With Yubaba, and we're owning shit. You can come in here, Tim. You can come in here for a bath right now. $15. That's how much it's going to cost. It was $10 yesterday. $15.
Wow, he's raising prices.
Andy's going to come with Andy and Kevin are going to scrub you down with big toothbrushes.
I'll get the job done. You know what I mean? I'll get the job done, Tim.
I know.
I'll get in all the crevices.
Kevin's going to scrub you from the inside out. Of course, they spot you. They spot the restaurant where something's cooking. And Dad's like, "Oh, I see something cooking over there. What's that? Maybe it's the souls of all the ants that Andy has burned over the years. We don't know." JK, no, they find a dope restaurant with. Is he shaking his head? I can't tell. Okay,
I am.
Yeah. Okay, good. I
listened to Mulan in review, and I was wondering if the ants would come over to today.
The ants come marching one by one.
It's a joke.
The trail.
I'm willing to. It's a hill I want to die on.
Nick,
Joey was
an
also
ant
like,
hill.
"Did I miss something?"
yeah, Nick, this is your
Damn,
toilet
that was a good
toad.
pull.
This is
This
another
is the
toilet toad.
It didn't pick up. I want the Andy kills ants to be a television show. I want a television show. A shirt. I want it to be a T-shirt. Tim. Andy kills ants. I can see it.
Okay.
Somebody design this Andy kills ants and make it look like an old logo for like the Twilight Zone or something cool like that. That's what I want. A 50s show. I don't know why. Just right there. Creativity. Miyazaki. Inspiration. Anyway, they find this restaurant with a ton of good food, and the parents just immediately start digging in. And by the way, I want to shout out the sound design in this movie because it's fucking phenomenal. There's a moment here where he first starts eating and you hear a pig sound, and you're like, damn, he sounds like a fucking pig. And then, of course, that's just foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing for when she turns them around, and they're clearly pigs. The place is spooky as hell, and clearly, to anyone with an IQ above 50, they're all going to get haunted or eaten or something. And I called this. I was like, I think they're going to get eaten. And turns out that's exactly what Yubaba wanted to do to them. Chihiro wanders over to a big bathhouse with a billowing smokestack. And man, this movie is weird as shit. But this is the point where I'm like, I'm in. Because I get it now.
Totally.
I get the vibe of this. This is going to be an adult movie. This is going to scare you. It's going to shock you. It might surprise you. And it might teach you a little something about yourself.
Also, the score is so brilliant in this
great.
scene. Oh, God.
And again,
I didn't think about the size of the building compared to how big it seems like when they're inside. That's
it's cool. It's a cool touch, right? Because you look at the building, you're like, it looks normal. But when they're inside, it's like, it's just endless.
I feel like they go up the elevator for so long.
They do. I love that shot too because it reminds me of Harry Potter.
When they were walking up the stairs and stuff, it reminded me a lot of Harry Potter of Hogwarts. When
I love that. Massive vibes from that. You can see that the production designers were like, we are well versed in the classics, the Miyazaki classics. Anyway, she looks down and sees that train tracks down below, where it's going through like a tunnel, and I like that because when she looks back up, she sees Haku, who is disturbed by her presence. He screams at her to leave before it's too late, and then she turns around. This is one of those this is like a nightmare you'd have when you were a kid, where you're like, oh my God, I know I should get out of this place, and you turn around, but it's too late because night just immediately falls. And she's like, fuck, I'm stuck here. It's done. I'm already in.
There's the moment where he's like, all right, run, go home. I'll distract them. And he goes, and the petals come out, and it's like, what is this magic world?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, real talk, I want to give a shout out to this voice actor because I think he might be my favorite young male voice actor of all time. Because he just fucking nails this. I love the way that he sounds. He sounds like a cool guy.
James Marsden. Is that his name?
Jason
Marsden.
Jason Marsden.
No, that's the dude with the stupid face.
I think Jason Marsden has a stupid face too.
Marsden
No,
has,
no,
I'm gonna
no.
click on him.
James Marsden has a beautiful face. What are y'all
he's got
talking
a
James
good
Marsden
face.
has a
He's got
very
good
beautiful
He
face.
has
They
the
both have good
face
faces.
of someone that's about to be disappointed in everything he
yeah.
does.
Belinda, you don't understand. This is a
It's an
long range
ongoing
joke. Where
joke.
everything James Marsden does, he just always gets shit on, always. And it's sad. And that is just analogous to his career.
It's by you all.
That is fair. He does kind
We're
of.
just making an observation, Andy. Just like those ant-based observation where they're like, he seems like a nice guy. Oh God, I'm burning.
It's sad. It's only sad because you.
We're the ones propagating this lie that we're
perpetuating this.
Yeah, we are.
Well, it's not a lie. His character always gets fucked over really hard.
He did get typecast as the character that's gonna get fucked over by Wolverine.
It's because he's good looking, but he's not that good looking. When you put him next to Wolverine,
He's pretty great good look. I would
Next
say
to Wolverine?
he's as good
Next to
looking
Wolverine?
as
Come
Yes,
on.
you're crazy.
next
You're right.
to
He gets
Wolverine.
fucked over. He gets fucked over in the Notebook too.
In
He sure does.
everything.
Hedgehog?
Remember?
Mhm.
No, he doesn't.
What's that one show with the robots on HBO?
Westworld?
Yeah.
Oh, he did get fucked
Westworld?
over in Westworld.
Really
Yeah, he did.
badly.
Yeah.
It was like his
He's great,
entire
man.
life, or the other guy's entire life.
Enchanted.
Just
Dang.
think about it.
Fucked
You know
over
what I mean?
Enchanted.
You're opening
Didn't
Belinda's eyes.
Patrick Dempsey steal his girl in Enchanted? He just always
He
that guy.
does. Yeah.
Sucks.
in
That's a
review.
great film. It's a great film. All right, let's get back to the plot. Let's see. She races back to her parents, but when they turn around, to meet her, they have in fact turned into giant pigs. And then ghoulish spirits start chasing her out of town. When she tries to retrace her path back to the car, she falls into a lake. The grass has been overtaken and is now water. And she cannot cross that lake. She looks across the lake and sees a beautiful, beautiful town, and then a crazy, beautifully lit riverboat coming toward her. thinking she's having a bad dream. She screams to herself that she wants to disappear and then actually starts disappearing. And then she looks over and sees a bunch of spirits get off the boat. And this movie is fucking bonkers, man. Because it starts with just their faces and then they apparate. And I'm like, this is bananas.
What did this boat remind you of, Belinda?
The riverboat at Disneyland.
Fantastic, baby. Let's go.
I was going to say, Kevin, doesn't this remind you? Kevin, doesn't this remind you of the riverboat from season 2 of Ozark?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Oh, yeah, the gambling
riverboat. Yeah.
It also
I can talk
reminded
about
me.
Ozark now. I understand the reference.
Oh, Andy's in the Ozark train.
Yeah.
Tim, Belinda, catch up.
It
Why
reminded
did
me
you
of
say
the
boat,
riverboat in the Tiny Toon Adventures movie, which was a fantastic movie.
Because there's a train in this one too. Come on.
I know, but I'm just saying we were talking so heavily about boats. You could have just said boat, and it would have been.
I'm a little off today.
It's okay.
Can I give you guys a little? Can I give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain into Nick Scarpino's world right now?
Sure.
We did an episode of KFAF with James and Elise Willems, and they had such a blast doing it. They texted me this morning that they had we're on this text thread, me, Andy, James, and Elise, and they're all going back and forth with new ideas that we can do, and they're all hilarious. And all I could do was respond, "Hey, these are really good ideas." And then it just killed the vibe of the whole text thread. It's just that everyone's like, "All right, well, I guess Nick doesn't want to play today." Sorry.
God, I could just
hear Andy. I could hear Andy roll his fucking eyes as I said,
No, I did it.
I
did it. Because the idea of the text thread is that these are concepts these are titles without concepts. It's just like here's a little wordplay. I don't know what it is, but just think about it. So Elise said Nick of Time, and then James said Andy way you want it. That's the way you need Nick.
It's great, and I'm like, these are so creative. And I woke up and I was like, I can't think of anything, but I want them to know that I appreciate them, and I want them to know that I want to party, Tim. But it's just one, you're just like, I just don't want to party tonight.
Dude,
but I want to go to the party. I just don't have it tonight.
The Nick of Time would be cool if it was like Nick was the judge and you had two screens where it's like there's a timer in the middle and you both are racing to do something.
Oh,
and whoever gets it done first, there you go.
I like that.
But,
or I'm thinking of a movie series where we review time traveling movies.
Oh, that's a great idea. Bill and Ted's, Time Cop. Oh, we start with those two. Only those two.
We start with
Time Bandits.
We start with those two.
The classics. Bill and Ted, Time Cop.
I opened up Google Images and I searched James Marsden. I don't know why. And it's just I keep seeing his fucking dumb face, and it's just like such a disappointment.
James,
I'm
not saying he's unattractive. I'm not saying he's unattractive. I'm just saying his look now reminds me of a loser.
It looks like he's about to cry.
You know what I mean?
Because someone stole his ex. Just fill in the blank. Somebody stole his popcorn. Someone stole his candy. Someone stole his lollipop. Someone stole his wife.
And he's gonna try really hard to get it back and fail.
He's gonna fail and then cry a little bit. Have a little cry face.
Corny Collins, Hairspray. He doesn't get screwed over.
There you go, Belinda. Wow. Expertise right there.
Have we ever noted that James Marsden is Kevin's Andy Serkis? Have we figured? Is that what this is? Like one day they're gonna fight.
That's 100% right.
Oh my god, I want to watch James Marsden and Kevin fight so bad.
That'd be so fun. That'd be fun.
I'll have a very frank conversation about him taking better roles where he succeeds.
I think his agent has probably had that conversation with him already, but we'll see.
I like to think that he likes it. I think he knows where his strengths are, and he's like, but I'm really good at making the disappointed
Let's get
face.
back to the plot.
He's just at a point where they offer him the roles. He doesn't have to audition anymore to be that.
He's not even in this movie. Guy. We just got here because of Jason Marsden.
It's true. Okay, so Haku finds her and tells her that he's trying to help her. He has to eat. He says she has to eat some food from this world or she'll disappear forever. And then he just shoves a berry into her mouth and then she reapparates. Up high above them, they note that a bird is flying above them. And at first it's like, okay, it looks like a kind of a vulture or a crow or something. But then when they get closer, it has the head of an old lady. And this is the stuff of nightmares. This is the thing, Belinda, that if I saw when I was an 8-year-old boy, I would be scared of forever. This is the shit that gets ingrained in your DNA, and then your grandkids are like, I'm scared of this thing. I don't even know what it is. I don't get it. I have no reference point for it.
Dude, it's classic Miyazaki shit, though. Well, that's the thing. Is like, cool, let's start with your parents turning into these ugly-ass pigs. Then, you're in this fucking world by yourself. What's going to happen? A crow with an old lady face. And it's like, it can't get worse than this. Immediately followed up with a giant old lady face.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's all. She's like a fucking humanoid old lady Kirby.
She looks like a big what do they call those things? Funko Pop. That's what she looks like when we see her in person. She's just like a life-size Funko Pop. Like these
Giant
dimensions
ass
don't
head.
work.
Yeah.
Chihiro's legs don't work, but Haku casts a spell to help, and then off they run through a market full of giant fish and giant pigs.
What was
Kevin,
up
sorry,
with
you were
that?
gonna say something?
Oh, I was just say, well, why did her legs not work? Like that was the only
I was
time that
wondering
ever
that too.
caused the problem. Where it was like, I feel like there was no
She
need
thinks
for
she's
that
paralyzed
moment
with
of
fear.
I thought she was just nervous.
Yeah, she was
no.
scared
Her legs were
shitless.
like cursed. Remember, he was like he did some magic shit. Cross.
To wake her. Oh yeah, to in order for her to stand back
Unbind
up.
her
Yeah, he
legs,
was
yeah.
like, may the power of light be upon you. I
Compel
don't
you.
know.
He's like, River Spirit, unbind these legs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that's. I guess
We'll
you know
never
what?
know.
I guess I should have seen. Again, the reveal at the end. Oh, you were the river spirit. I guess that tiny little line should have led me to believe that he was a river spirit at one time.
Andy,
but
I
it's
made
like
that.
such a quick.
I made that line up. I don't.
No,
think
I
he
could have
said-
sworn he said. Did he not say that? May the power of the river or some shit like that. I'm pretty sure he said something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Power of Christ compels you. Let's see. They cross a bridge, and as they cross a bridge, Haku is like, "Hey, when we cross this, you gotta hold your breath. If you don't hold your breath, they're gonna see you." And to which I would respond, "Wait a minute. What happens if they see me? What's gonna happen to me? I'm not crossing this bridge. Why are we going
But
in there?
also,
Let's
why
go the
just
opposite
on the
way."
bridge? There's so many fucking questions where I feel like they made up a rule just because they were like, we need a little bit more tension for this scene.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But it works.
It's to me.
You're tense.
To me,
Yeah.
I forgive it though because everything about this is just we're this world is bananas, and we're making up the rules as we go. And there's some movies where that just works, and this happens to be one of them.
And then
Where I would
Haku pops off and he just fucking orbs that little frog. Like,
Oh
That
my
was-
god,
the orb thing was
that
so cool.
dumbass frog, and the frog's like, "What?"
The frog was the homie, man.
He's like, "What did I do to you?"
The frog was James Marsden in this movie.
It was, and then he's like, "I'm just trying to make my way in the world. I hope I don't get fucking eaten by a giant blob monster."
Yeah,
Oh god, I'm eaten.
I feel like if the frog was James Marsden, he wouldn't have gotten spit out at the end. You know?
That's true.
He would have just
It's true.
stayed eaten.
They would have just stayed in this tummy forever.
Yeah.
After they cross the bridge, Haku gives her a little mental map of how to get to Kamaji, the Boiler Man, which is dope. She tells him that she wants to work. She says, "Tell him that you want to work there. If it doesn't give you gainful employment, Yubaba will slaughter you." And then Haku wishes her luck, and then she wonders how he knows her name. And he says he's known her for a while now, but he can't quite figure out why. And I'm like, cool, foreshadowing. Someone calls out to Haku that Yubaba wants to see him about his mission, which sounds scary and ominous. And Chihiro heads off to set a Guinness record for the slowest climb down a staircase ever. Which is, I love that.
Scared.
And then, of course, one of the steps breaks and the sound freaks her out, sending her
I
sprinting down the rest of the way.
Legitimately
She slams into a
jumped at this part. I don't know why, but I was so scared and tense. When the stairs broke, I jumped, and then when the stairs broke again, I jumped again.
It's one of those things.
Like I was like, oh my god.
Out of everything to get scared of in this movie.
Yeah, I was
The
so
stairs.
scared.
Not the
The
nightmare
stairs.
creatures that arrive that she has to deal with. Not
No.
the
No, I get it
Stairs.
though. I think it
Yeah.
was it the music that made that moment so like
Probably that, and
pop
she was
loud.
going so slow,
Yeah.
and you thought like because she was being careful, she was gonna be fine, but then she just falls.
snaps.
And I like jumped.
The amount of times I've gone uncontrollably fast downstairs are too many. It's like I know what it feels like to hit a wall to stop. It's just so upsetting. 'Cause
Some
my
people say
elementary
that
school
that-
had a lot of steps.
And a lot of smudges on the walls, apparently. I want to say one of the
I
things
love you
that
guys so much.
obviously adds to the tension of this scene is the production design of how this is designed, right? It's a staircase, and Miyazaki has that fetish for just putting people high above with no protection. There's no railing to the staircase, which makes it terrifying, by the way. That's super dangerous. People lose their footing all the time. That's how people fall in the mountains. And of course, like later, we're going to see her have to teeter and balance on a pipe that's just precariously placed above fucking nothingness, and she's going to fall. And every time he does it, I'm like, I know this. I'm like, I see it coming, Andy. I'm like, he's going to fucking do it to me again. He's gonna pop up my fear of heights, and then she gets on the thing, and I'm like, my palms start sweating, and I'm like, don't fall. It's just a movie, just a cook.
And then she falls
Nick,
down,
just-
but then you know what? She transforms to an airship, and
There it is.
she flies away.
end.
Nick, just really quick. A lot of people fall off mountains because there's no railing. Is that what you?
Yeah, it's the number one reason why people fall off Everest. One of these days, they're gonna put a safety railing on that mountain. Anyone,
everyone's gonna be fine. Everyone's
yeah,
gonna
it's
be
gonna
fine.
be fine. Yeah, I'm
Also,
glad someone picked up on that.
Second thing, yeah, no airships. That was interesting, right?
There are
like-
planes though. There are airplanes.
Are there?
Yeah, well, little paper
Yeah,
airplanes.
little paper
Oh
airplanes.
no, that was like
Paper
Yubaba's
birds.
sisters.
Yubaba
Well, there's
is
a
the
train. There's
airship
always got to
in
be
this.
something, right? There's got to be something steam powered. We got a train in this one at least.
Yeah, I guess Yubaba is the airship. You can jump inside her giant head,
Stop.
That big old dome.
pilot from there. Yeah.
And do you think they have drink service in that head? Because I would like a Diet Coke right now.
Man, it's got to smell terrible in there. Like
Oh,
no,
it smells like
no amount
oh,
of Diet Coke could make that okay.
It smells like grandma.
That wasn't the. Wait, never mind. You're good.
Do you remember your grandparents' house where you'd walk in and be like, God, this place just smells like old dust every single
It
time?
smells like death.
It does a little bit like the creeping of death. Let's see. She smashes into the rock, and then when she pops out, she kind of sneaks past a window, and it opens up, and one of the cooks, who's a frog, just starts smoking a cigarette. And man, I'll tell you one thing, Kevin. When I used to work at restaurants, I looked forward to that 15-minute break where I could just light up a butt and just fuck the world. You know what I mean, Belinda?
God damn.
Fuck the world. I hate
I
it.
get it, dude. I get it. Like the
Right
idea of being able to
up a
open up a
butt.
window.
Yeah, man. Just got to get in there with. I used to smoke Marlboro Lights back then. Of course, came to my senses, Kevin. Went over to Camels, of course.
Just
Oh,
light up
they're
a
alive.
heater. Yeah.
But man, they used to be like, hey, you haven't taken your 15-minute break yet. And I'm like, thank God. You'd get another server to watch your station and you just go out there and smoke as many cigarettes as you possibly could. And then they were like, Nick, make sure you wash your hands because Kevin, that takes care of the smell, right? And I'd just like briskly wash my hands and walk back just smelling like a fucking forest fire to my tables. I was not a great server. You guys might be surprised.
There's a
to
reason
know.
why you got fired.
Fired a lot. A lot. Anyway, down in the boiler room, she runs into Kamaji, who is mixing up a concoction while soot spirits throw coal into the fire. And I love
The
that these little
return.
fuckers come back. It's so
So
cool.
cute.
I know, they're so adorable, and they have a lot more personality in this, which I like. And I love that they just immediately become friends with Chihiro. Sound design is great here as well. All of this
Oh,
reminds
yeah.
me of those movies that we talked about before. Very, very terrifying. I love this because, you know, when you were a kid and you'd see these things, they designed these creatures to be scary at first. And then when you got to know them, they were endearing. And then all of a sudden, the guy that works the boiler room, who has the big mustache and 4 arms,
Big sweetheart.
Mr.
endearing,
Robotnik.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's such a very tasteful thing to be able to do as an artist, is to like scare and then immediately endear. And he does that very, very well here.
Yeah,
Of
this
course-
this is one of the scenes that earlier I was talking about how I really loved how well she was animated, and like it felt so believable that she was this young. I don't even want to say young scared girl, just this young girl.
Just
And
reacting, yeah.
her reacting to the soot as it comes, and like when she kind of gets cornered, every
Yeah.
little motion she makes, I'm just like, damn, man. It's this level of care that like makes this all believable, no matter the fact that this guy has 8 fucking arms, or that we just saw a giant
6.
old lady face as a person. It's like I believe it because she
Because
is
of her.
believable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She pleads with the boiler man for a job, but is rebuffed. And then Kamaji he's like, I cast a spell on these little creatures, and so I have all the work I need. And then she looks over and sees that one of the soot spirits buckles under the pressure of the coal that he's trying to carry, and so she picks it up and saves him. And then she carries it over for him very, very painfully. Throws it into the boiler, and then I love this because she turns around and all the rest of the soots are like, okay, and then they drop it on themselves. And it's super cute. I'm like, well, this is just
Lazy
immediately endearing.
bastards.
I know,
I
man.
know.
That's
I
how
love
it
Me
it.
is.
too. Me too.
Love it.
It's really cute.
Unionized.
And what I liked about this,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. What I liked about this is it showed obviously the character, but then it showed like a playful spirit that then plays into them clearly having an affection for Chihiro and vice versa. And then quickly, Lynn shows up to feed the soot balls some candy, and then I'm like, man, I want someone to just throw candy to my mouth, Andy. Wouldn't that be fun? And then freaks out when she sees Chihiro because she's a human. Kamaji tells her that Chihiro is her granddaughter and that he's hiring her, but first she has to check with Yubaba. And then Lynn schools her on manners. So this is where I'm gonna like, I would push back on this a little bit, because everyone's like immediately starts talking about how she has terrible manners and is lazy and has never had a job. And I'm like, she's 10. First off, her manners are great for a 10-year-old. Second off, of course she hasn't had a fucking job. She's a child. Her job is to ride a bike and like maybe piss mom off occasionally. Those are your main jobs when you're a kid. That's it.
Yeah, but do they really know that? Because I'm
spirits
sure
don't have
they.
age.
I'm sure they look at the frog and they're like, look, this little tiny fucking frog's been doing work for us for a long time and it's never got a promotion and then just got zapped by fucking Haku. Like, this poor frog's been through it all.
Just a frog, man.
Just a frog.
Thank you.
So Lynn takes her up to the top floor. When they get about halfway through, they're interrupted by a radish spirit who gives me major Totoro vibes.
Terrifying. Yeah, if Totoro was terrifying.
Yeah, he follows them across the bridge, and down below we see that all manner of spirits being bathed. And apparently, this is just the place spirits come to just relax, man. It's been a hard day of work over at the Spirit Factory, Andy, and let's just go. We'll have a bath and we'll just decompress. And this is a place I would go to if I were a spirit. If I were a spirit, I'd probably be the spirit of empty cigarette butts. We'll go with that.
Let's go.
So the spirits work at the Spirit Factory, which would be the same as humans working at Human Factory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they're in there making all sorts of spirits. My God, I don't know what they do there, man. They don't let me in, but
yeah,
they don't let me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are stopped by the same smoking frog. So Lynn runs a diversion with a little bit of a smoked lizard that she was given to by the Boiler Man, and then sends Chihiro up with the radish to see Yubaba. And the radish kind of gives her a little nod, like they're going floor by floor, and she looks at him, and he's like, no. And then finally they get to the floor she's supposed to get off at, and he kind of leads her off, which I thought was kind of endearing. When she reaches the office door, the knocker schools her yet again on her manners, and then Yubaba magically pulls the girl into her office, which is filled with terrifying bouncing heads that look like me if Tim would let me shave my head. Tim, just let me shave my head. I'll look like these little green bastards.
You can't do it. This was one of those the moments in this movie where I was like, why? Why does there need to be more terrifying things? Like, you can stop. You can just fucking stop. Then we're about to meet the goddamn baby.
Yep. Oh, the baby.
No, we don't meet it for a while, but like,
no,
you just
yeah,
hear
it's coming
it,
though.
and you're like, it's a giant baby, and it's like,
yeah, they hint to it, and you hear, you could feel the mass involved.
Oh, it's great.
And you
Somehow
know that like
it was still bigger than I thought it was going to.
Still
be.
was, yeah. And it's just that sort of foreshadowing where like, okay, this isn't the last time we're gonna see this big baby.
No. Is there anything more terrifying than giant babies?
Big kid, huh?
Hey, big kid, huh?
So go
Is there
over
Medicaid?
under lasers in your fears.
This goes okay. So lasers and quicksand, probably big babies right in the middle of those. Yeah, I see a giant baby. I'm paralyzed with fear.
Were big babies not popular in the 80s? Was that movie Honey, I Blew Up the Kids?
So there was Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and it was fine.
Well, they shrunk the kids first.
But that was the sequel. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids is number 2, where they make the kid a giant baby.
But that came out in the 90s.
I was totally fine when they were shrinking the kids, Kevin. I was terrified when they started blowing the kids up. Because you're about this close from just winding up in that kid's mouth. That kid's just going to grab it.
When the baby is walking across these giant bridges and skyscrapers, I almost walked out of the theater, Nick. I couldn't deal with it.
Oh, no, forget it, man. Terrible.
Then they shrunk themselves in 1998.
That was not good. They should have not gone there.
Man. So good. Rick Moranis.
They shrink
everything. About
he
potassium.
Wasn't in that one.
Eat your bananas.
I learned about potassium because of that movie.
Wait, Rick Moranis wasn't in that movie, right?
We're part of this generation, Belinda. You know what I'm talking about. Joey knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Hey, then they remade it with that Matt Damon movie where everyone lived in little bottles.
That movie
I digress.
was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And I had to wake up Joey twice in the movie theaters because I was like, I'm not doing this alone.
Yeah,
so many people hate that movie.
Joey
Andy,
taking a nap in a
you
movie
should
theater
watch
is
it.
the hallmark of her character. She likes to get sleepy in those movie theaters because they're comfy. Chihiro asks Yubaba for a job, but Yubaba uses her magic to zip her mouth, and she's like, "You're just a stinking, useless weakling." And I'm like, "Damn, that's harsh. This is no place for a human. It's a bathhouse for spirits to rest and replenish themselves. Maybe get a little massage, a little mani-pedi. Sounds like it's just a nice place that Andy and I would like to visit whenever Andy wants to hang out with me next. Andy, let me know what your schedule looks like this week, and we'll go."
Yubaba,
you also wish that somebody would throw candy in your mouth.
Oh my God, right? Don't you? Just not hard. That looked like hard candy though, because it's gonna chip a tooth. I want like soft jujubes or some sort of like Like a hot tamale would be good, right? We were talking about that on the stream the other day.
Nick said the throw the candy in my mouth thing, and like I looked over and I saw Andy make eye contact with me. Like we're in different places right now. But I know we looked at each other, and it was one of those moments where both of us were like, "Do we stop this? Do we say anything? No, let's just let it lie. Let's just let it go." And here we are.
In my brain, I imagine I'm running a marathon, Tim, and instead of doing one of those stupid little cups of Gatorade or water, I just open my mouth and you throw candy into it. And most of it doesn't go into my mouth. You know, it just hits my, like one of them hits my eyes and causes semi-permanent.
You're like, refreshing. That's good.
I'm good for the next 2 miles. Let's see. Yubaba pulls a hard drag off her cigarette and orders Chihiro to rat out her friends, but the madam unzips her mouth and she says, "All I want is a job, man. I'm just here for a job." Yubaba flies toward her and calls her a lazy bum. If she wants to stay, Yubaba will saddle her with the hardest job possible, so she works herself to death. But in all the commotion has woken up the giant baby in the next room. Yubaba tries to calm her baby, but Chihiro sees an opening. She's like, okay, this is when she's weak because she's dealing with this giant baby, and it's terrifying. She asks one more time for a job, and Yubaba relents. She gives her the contract with the stipulation that if she complains, the girl will have to join her parents in the pig pen. Apparently, Yubaba took an oath to give a job to anyone who asks. I didn't need this throwaway line, but I guess it's in there. This would have been very useful information for Chihiro to have before she enters into the negotiations. I'd be like, you have to give me a job. I'm asking. Fuck. All right, here's the job.
Also, quick question here. Did Chihiro, like, fuck up? Like, she was supposed to get a job from the dude in the...
She got the job, but he said you have to get this job has to be verified
contract,
by... Yeah. Yubaba's the one that signs the contract, basically. I'll give you the job, but... You know, I'll vouch for you, basically, but she's the big wig, literally and figuratively speaking. Right. Of course, this is a
you
cool
don't think that's natural hair?
No, that's a fucking wig. That's a total wig, Andy. And Kevin, whoever said that. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera. You guys are down here on my other monitor, but you can't. Look how cute you guys are. I'll take a picture later for the Snapchat. Let's see. This is a great moment where...
The idea of Nick being really into Snapchat right now makes perfect sense.
I'm definitely going to get into Snapchat in the next 2 to 3 years. She signs the contract, and then Yubaba rips Chihiro's name from it and then renames her Sen. Basically, she's like, I own your name now. You can never get out of here because I own your name. And if you don't remember your name, you're lost. And you're just a lost little soul.
It's a cool-ass concept. I love that. I love when Haku kind of explains it to her and breaks it down. It's like, look, I've forgotten my name, and she's like, oh shit, that's why I almost forgot my name. That's crazy. Like, it's such a cool little rules that they're creating for this,
but also terrifying, you know.
Yeah, it's scary. Haku comes to collect her, but he's much more professional now and kind of asshole-ish. Nobody wants to take Sen as a worker, but Haku orders them to, so they pawn her off on Lin as an assistant. But it turns out, you know what, guys, Lin's pretty cool after all. All that stuff, all that shit she was talking earlier was just for show. She hooks up Chihiro with a uniform and tells her not to trust Haku. Overwhelmed, Chihiro breaks down.
The shit out of me.
Scared the shit out of me. Don't trust him. He is the right-hand man of Yubaba, and that is not a good place to be. Basically, he's the executioner. I made that up. Overwhelmed, Chihiro breaks down in tears, or Sen breaks down in tears. She doesn't feel well at all, which is pretty understandable because she's in the land of monsters and horrors beyond belief. Yubaba flies off for the day, and all is quiet in town. The next morning, Sen lays awake, shaking. Haku sneaks in and tells her to meet her at the bridge. She gets dressed and heads down. Sen gets her shoes back from the soot spirits, which is just his most cutely endearing scene ever. So she walks down and she's like, "Can I have my shoes, please?" And they all just kind of like bring it out to her. And I'm like, dude, these things actually might be pretty handy to have around.
MVP?
Yeah. Like, I need to refill my coffee right now. I just put it on the ground. They come back and it's all dirty, but it tastes good. They are the MVP. I'll vote for that.
I give MVP to the boiler guy. To the
me too.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe that's a good call.
What, Hoku? What's his name?
Haku.
I
mean, no, because
like
she's rescuing him the whole time. He's all fucking bloody.
She saved him.
Yeah,
more than he saved her.
But like, yeah, I guess whatever. I don't care enough to fight for it. I just feel like he was trying to help, but like, you know, he couldn't remember stuff, so he's all confused about it. But like, if he wasn't there to help, she'd be dead from the beginning.
I mean, that's so true though. He is kind of the reason why she was even able to survive, and he's the one who told her, "Hey, remember your name. Hey, here are the rules. Hold your breath. I'm kind of like trying to guide you through this whole shit." I mean, he deserves some praise.
I would say he's AVP, not MVP. He's just a
Alien versus Predator. Or I was like,
It's a
cool.
good
I'll
joke.
give that. Let's give that AVP out. Award, Requiem Award. She goes back up the stairs and over the bridge, and where she does, she encounters for the first time No Face, who at first I'm like, I don't know if this guy's. This is one of those like, is he going to be cool or not? I don't know. Turns out both. He's not going to be cool, and he is cool. She spots.
Yeah.
I felt like that the entire way until they get to the grandma's house.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Like
But that
on the
he
train, I was
might
like,
kill
at
everyone.
any point he could eat you. Like I don't understand why he forgave you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There could be a character turn at any moment, and it would feel justified because this world has no rules.
Haku finds her and takes her over to the pig pen where she sees her parents, and he says, "Listen, you got to remember who they are, because if you forget who they are, they're going to be pigs forever, and then you're going to die."
Way too much fucking pressure.
Yeah,
This is the moment that would have stuck with me forever as a kid, where it's like, well, that's just, I guess I lost my parents. That and when they turn into pigs, because that might have fucked up buffets for me. So I'm really happy I didn't see this movie when I was.
I would have done some therapy to get over that because I fucking love buffets.
Oh, I love buffets.
Oh god, Phoebe buffets. She spots her parents and then yells at them. She's like, "I promise to get you out of here." Haku, am I saying it right? Andy, you say it.
Say Haku. Yeah. it's
Haku. Okay, cool. Because I think at first I was saying Haku. Doesn't matter. Haku gives her clothes
Haku
back.
interview.
She finds the goodbye card that her friend wrote her, and he goes, "You have to hold on to this because that is your real name. If you forget your real name, you'll disappear forever, just like I have. I've forgotten mine." And she goes, "Okay, well, I'm gonna remember this." And then, guys, I'm gonna say it right now. Best part of the movie, he gives her a traditional Japanese snack called the onigiri, and I fucking love these things. Belinda, have you ever had these?
I haven't.
Oh, Madonna.
So
My
good.
wife and I ate like we started off when we went to Japan eating like good meals, and then we went to a 7-Eleven and bought these little things. For Kevin, for context, they're little triangle
I'm
rice
aware,
cakes
with a
that
little bit of
have
nori on it.
stuff. Oh my god. And I was like, we were staying in a nice hotel, and
There
every
you
day we
go.
walked down to the 7-Eleven and just bought like 10 of these things with some shrimp chips, and then just walked back in to the nice hotel. I'm
Damn.
like, these are our meals. You're not getting any more money out of me, people. And that was it. Oh, so good. Of course, overwhelmed, she sobs while she eats. Haku drops her off back at the bathhouse, and then she looks up and spots a silver dragon in the sky, and she's like, "That's pretty." She heads down to the boiler room where the soot balls are playing with her shoes and falls asleep. Kamaji wakes up to find her curled up on the floor, cold. He covers her with a blanket. That night, she reports to work, and everyone gives her shit about how bad she is at work. And she's like, "Again, guys, I am a 10-year-old
mean.
person."
Really mean.
She dumps out a bucket of water, and then outside in the rain, she spots No Face again.
Terrifying.
Let's see, what's that?
Oh, it's terrifying the way he was just
It's really
standing
scary.
there with this
Yeah,
little
really scary.
mask.
The rain's
I
passing.
I was okay with No Face until I saw leg, until I saw thigh and calf.
His
from
like thin
No
arms
Face.
too. It's like they're.
I was okay with it just being a floating sort of
Fuck that.
apparition, kind of
thank
floating
you.
through the world. But then as soon as we saw like these legs kind of come under, it reminds you of like when people photoshopped a toad with legs, like long legs.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
You know?
Ugh.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I think at this point too, I don't think I made a note of this, but she goes, "Hey," she thinks he's a client. And she goes, "Oh, you should come in here." And she leaves the window open
Yeah.
for him, and he comes in. Unbeknownst to her, he is a terrifying ghoul that will eat everyone. Lynn
But
tells,
not like digest them. So is
"No,
that bad?
just keep them around. Use their voice, which
Do
is
you
even
think they?
scarier."
Yeah, that was really weird. Do you think they had like a bad couple of days in them?
I don't think those are days they're going to want to remember, but it's
Sure.
definitely days that are going to stick with him. Spending 2 days in the belly of the beast with just every, I mean, you're just being assaulted by all the food that he's eating too, which at a certain point, there's a smell factor that has to be factored into
I have to
this.
imagine they're probably eating some of that food, not because
I
they
mean,
want
I
to,
would.
but
I'd be like,
out of necessity.
Give me some of the Phoebe buffet. Lynn and Chihiro are tasked with cleaning the big tub, which is definitely going to give them an infection of some sort. Lynn tells Chihiro to get an herbal soak token from the foreman, and Chihiro asks her what the hell a foreman is. Yubaba gets a premonition that something is coming and wonders what useless scum could be slinking around in the rain. And of course, then we see it down on the promenade. The spirits close up shop as the massive stink spirit walks down the street
stink
toward the
spirit.
bathhouse. Call him the
Here we
stink
go.
spirit.
This
There it
reminded
is.
me
What
a lot of the spirit in Dogma, or the
Oh yeah,
or
the
God-
shit monster.
Yeah, the shit monster.
Yubaba calls down to the foreman and tells him that they have an intruder. Chihiro uses that opportunity to scam him out of a token, and boom, you're learning, kid. Lin shows Chihiro how to let the water into the bathtub with a rope after she hooks up the salt token or whatever it is, and the rope looks a little bit like a noose, which is scary. Then she pops off to get a spot of breakfast. Chihiro sees No Face in the corner, and he offers her more of those drink tokens that the foreman had, but she doesn't need. She's like, I don't need any more. Confused, the No Face lets out the most terrifying sound ever. He just goes, eh.
Yeah.
They couldn't have made this fucking guy any creepier.
They were like last week with Princess Mononoke. They're like, all right, this little deer spirit's fucked up.
Belinda's like, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, here we go.
And the way he and it's like, as soon as she takes it, he's gonna eat her. Right? That was his plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was definitely gonna eat her. Yubaba pawns off the stink spirit on Sen just to see how much it's gonna torture her. When it enters, everyone's hair stands on end, and Sen covers her nose with her hand. And Yubaba's like, "Don't do that. You're gonna insult our guest." And I love how this whole thing's animated. I like how they animate the hair, like
Yeah,
kind of
like staticky moving.
Yeah, kind of
That
Charlie
was
Brownish.
awesome. That was cool as shit. The way it sort of like flowed all the way from her toes to her head looked really cool.
Sen takes the stinky beast's money and shows him to the big tub while Yubaba orders everyone to open the windows. It jumps in, covering the entire room in mud. Yubaba has to watches
mud,
as Sen.
It's shit, bro.
Yeah, she
Is
was
it
covered
shit,
in
bro?
feces. Everyone was
I'm just
covered
saying
in
mud, guys. I'm saying mud.
I like mud. Let's do mud.
We'll go with mud.
Let's do mud.
Keep it
I mean, that's
PG.
not what it was.
He was covered in geeky.
Oh,
Grandma.
God.
Yubaba watches as Sen fights her way through the muck to attach another bath token and refill the tub. She
Came in
slips
clutch, dude.
and pulls. She came in clutch. Pulls the rope, forcing the water to cascade down and flood the room. Sen realizes that the stinky spirit has a thorn in his side and asks Lin for help. Yubaba jumps into action and gets the whole staff to help pull out the thorn. They heave and they hoe and they pull that sucker out, but instead of a thorn, they find a whole bunch of just stuff. This guy's got a whole junkyard in his belly.
It's crazy.
And it's a
The fact
crazy
I was
visual.
reading is that this was from when Miyazaki was younger. One of his first jobs was cleaning some like shitty river, and one of the things he remembers most was there was a bike and he just couldn't get it out of the mud, and it took like him and like 5 other people to like pull it out,
I don't like
and
that
that visual
story.
stuck with him, and so that's why the bike
here it
handle
is.
is like one of the first things he pulls out.
It is a great visual. Sen pulls the last of it out of the water and then the tub water wraps around her like a cocoon as it washes over the room. When the tide settles, just the creepiest old wrinkled skull rises from the water and says, "Well done." And I'm like, oh no. And then I guess I don't know how
And
she
then
gets the meatball.
spits a meatball at her.
It spits a
and
meatball in
for
her
whatever
hand
reason,
and-
she's like, I'm gonna keep this so that I can have a bunch of
She
people eat
also
this.
keeps eating, like she ate it. She didn't like it. She kept trying to shove it in
Feed it,
other
yeah.
people's mouths.
Yeah.
And I was like, why?
So
was
creepy.
weird.
Like the face that popped up is legitimately horrifying. It was so wrinkly and gross.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I just, I guess it reminded me of in Totoro where I was like, when did I take drugs? I don't remember taking drugs.
Yeah, there was a
But
turning point.
This is freaky as shit. And then that face then formed a giant dragon just like Haku is. And I wonder do these dragons duel ever?
No, of
Oh,
course
I
they
bet
do.
you.
Dueling dragons. That's
Well,
cool.
Of
so
course
there-
they do.
that was probably another river spirit, right? There was a contaminated river spirit that needed a good cleaning.
I imagine so, because it has a similar form when it. So of course, she steps. Yubaba tells her to step aside when she does. The guest leaves and it erupts, and it is one of those beautiful silver.
What are
river spirits?
What are the duck spirits? They're really cute. The giant ducks just walking around.
That's just
I don't
duck
remember
spirits. You know what I mean?
Those are the spirits of ducks, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's
You know
got
what
a
I mean?
spirit.
Hey, Tim, did you want me to show this? Or
I would like that. Yes,
Okay.
Kev.
All right. Nick, have you
I
seen
wanted
this?
to bring this up.
Yeah. Okay.
They
is
nailed
from,
what we were thinking last
Salty
week.
Bob on
That's-
Reddit. Thank you, Salty Bob, for
That's great.
Oh God.
But also, fuck you, Salty Bob, for making this abomination.
I'm posting that on my Instagram.
Oh,
That's
we know you are, Nick.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, this is probably one of the worst
Oh,
things
I
I've seen
did
in a
not
while.
want this.
You didn't want it.
I didn't want
need
to see it. Didn't want to
Don't-
see it.
Don't want to remember it. Of course, the silver spirit darts out of the front door, and Yubaba gives Sen props for making her some scorilla as the no-face watches in the corner. Later that night, Lin brings Sen a dumpling while she wonders about Haku. Sen takes a quiet moment to watch the moon and the train pass by in the water below. And this is one of those lovely Miyazaki moments where we're just treated to some amazing art. So I'm gonna bring you guys back here. She eats the dumpling and then for some reason decides to eat the meatball. The dragon spirit spit out of his mouth into her hand, which of course makes her sick. And I think this is supposed to be like when kids are stupid and they eat dirt and you're like, don't eat the fucking dirt. All right, well, she ate the dirt. And now she's going to throw up, and she just ruined the family vacation to Laughlin, Nevada. One of the little frogs sneaks around the big tub looking for gold. I'm from Laughlin, Nevada. Tim, I used to go to Laughlin. Nevada.
Hold on. Kevin has a legitimate question, which is, why are you referencing Laughlin, Nevada? And Nick's reasoning is Laughlin, Nevada.
No, to be clear, I wasn't questioning why he was picking Laughlin, Nevada. I was using his voice that he then did moments afterwards to say it.
No, but I think
know
we all
why
have
he
the same
picked Laughlin,
question of like,
Nevada.
what a weird reference.
It's not though. It's a reference that he totally understands.
From his
when
childhood.
people go to bad vacations, it's Laughlin, Nevada.
Laughlin, Nevada.
Yeah.
We're going to Laughlin, Nevada. Tim, I used to go to Laughlin, Nevada. We used to sit on the river, and I used to wear a T-shirt because I was so ashamed of my body, and I would eat nothing but those giant scoop Fritos and bean dip.
Oh, wow. That sounds, man, that is taking me back to 95 right now.
Right. One of the little frogs later that night sneaks around. I think it's the same frog that Haku just bubbleized, sneaks around the bathtub looking for gold. And then he looks up and he sees No Face. No Face is like, and he gives him gold. And the frog's like, dude, I'll do whatever you want for this gold if you just gave me more gold. And then No Face eats his ass and swallows him. And he's like, anything but that. Just like Meatloaf said that one time. I would do anything for gold, but I won't let you swallow me. All right.
Dynamite Meatloaf reference.
I'm
Thanks,
really happy
guys.
we all committed to like holding.
Just letting it go.
Each and every one of you are assholes. You can't even give me just a
Right. It's
just
not
a
your
mercy
fault
laugh
for making
on
a
that.
bad
You want
joke.
like a round of applause
Weird.
for what you just did?
mercy
A meatloaf
laugh
joke. Yeah.
for the meatloaf reference. I
Yeah.
pulled. I didn't
But
write that. I
we're
pulled
the
that out
bad
on the
people. You
spot.
know? You're trying your hardest, and we suck.
Belinda, I just want you to know, for the first 9 of these Miyazaki films, you weren't one of us. Now you're one of us. You were trying to be all
I'm
prim
all
and
in.
proper over there, but now you're in the muck. You're one of the.
Are you
stinky
kidding me?
monsters just
Belinda's
with us.
been one of us since Greg said that.
Since Greg
the
on
dad
Lion
from Toy
King.
Story got punched by a fucking donkey. He got dunked by a mule.
Sorry, Belinda.
Oh
You
my
are forever.
God.
You are forever changed. Now you're one of us. Let's see. Of course, then this is the terrifying moment where when he starts speaking to the foreman, he's got the frog's voice, and it's really, really scary. What's up, Kev? Is there a problem?
Yeah, no, I got it. Don't worry.
Okay. Sen has a nightmare that the meatball she got from the river spirit she should feed to her parents, but to break the spell, when she tries to feed it to them, she can't remember which one they are. She wakes up the next morning to chaos. No Face is throwing gold around like it's going out of style and eating everything in sight. Sen walks back to the balcony to wonder where Haku went, and then spots a beautiful river spirit that she pegs as Haku. Only she's being chased by a buttload of paper airplanes or birds. At first, she thinks she's like, oh, there must be birds. She screams to him to come inside, and when he does so, she shuts the door right behind him, making all of the paper airplanes slam into the door and die.
So
except for
scary.
one.
It's
very
so
scary.
scary.
Haku is a little worse for the wear, but despite Sen wanting to help him, he jets away, flying high up into the top of the bathhouse. Downstairs is everyone is bowing down to the rich man, who is now very, very tubby. En route to Haku, she runs into No Face, who offers her gold. Only she's like, I don't want. Just stop offering me things. I don't want this stuff. I got something to do. And then he goes.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it, Belinda.
Belinda, do it. It's so. Belinda, give me your best No Face. Give me your best No Face right now.
One
of us. Ziggy, ziggy, ziggy. There it is. Again, she runs off, and the assistant manager tries to smooth things over, but No Face is pissed and just starts eating everyone. He eats the assistant manager and the assistant's assistant, and everyone's like, okay, well, this went south, but we made all the gold, so let's just bang out. like
Bit of an
my dad
overreaction.
always. This is the thing. Like, right. We learned a very important lesson here. Like my dad always used to say, Andy, don't trust people who give out free gold because chances are they're going to eat you. Everyone freaks out and runs
I
away
could
as
see your
Sen
father
climbs.
saying that.
It's an important safety tip. Sen climbs the building outside to go save Haku's spirit from bleeding to death. She ties up. I like this moment because she ties up her sleeves and like rolls up her pant legs, and she's like, I gotta just run across this really, really precarious pipe that's seated very high above the sea because it wouldn't be a fucking Miyazaki film if it didn't make my palms sweat with fear of heights. 80s Yubaba rolls in. I thought this was Yubaba at first, but apparently this is just another Yubaba lookalike that has dope ass Oakley sunglasses like the Boz used to wear, Andy.
Yeah,
Just flies
dude.
in.
Well, that was just
Brian
her bird, right?
Bosworth.
Exactly. She
Wait, what? Kevin, what?
That was her bird. She had a pet bird that looked just like her. which
Yeah,
I thought
it's
was
very
fucking
off-putting.
terrifying.
But the bird didn't have glasses.
Somebody was wearing Oakleys, and I just wanted.
She had glasses. Like
Someone looked like they were, like at a fucking MAGA event. Like it looked.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Like they really
don't
want to
wear
talk about the
glasses
AR-15s.
like, some people really like glasses.
I would wear Oakleys.
But
I
they
would
were
rock
like
Oakleys
they were
still.
like those like wide like '90s Brian
I
Bosworth,
watched the
Chipper
movie.
Jones. Chipper
Like
Jones
blue
wore
blue
these.
blockers.
James
Like-
Marsden in X-Men.
Oh, poor James
Yeah.
Marsden. He did wear them.
No, but those are
Idiot.
different Oakleys though. Those
I just
James
wanted to
Marsden
say it.
Oakleys were like
Stupid
really
face.
bad. They were
Those
really
were
bad.
overly designed. They picked those up at the local freaking Hot Topic, and everyone's like, "Yeah, these are gonna look good on the Mars." Do you think at any point he wanted people to, hey, call me the Mars? And everyone's
No, never.
I bet you he hopes for it though. I could see him being in there. Like, I'll get a good role soon.
Can you guys still hear me? Sorry, I unplugged
Yes.
my mic box. Okay, cool. Let's see.
Unfortunately.
Hey, man.
You did a great job, Nick. We're all proud of you.
Hey.
Nick, you're killing it right now. You're killing
Thank
it.
you.
This is a hard movie to stay. You know,
Tim, I want you to close your eyes real quick. Can you close your eyes for me?
Lord.
Sing
And
Meatloaf.
I want you to listen to this. And I would do anything for gold, but I won't do.
I won't let you swallow.
Oh no.
it got worse.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before Andy said sing Meatloaf, what were you gonna do?
I was just gonna go.
I think
But
that would have been a really
Andy,
good joke.
like the best co-host on the planet, took it up a notch. Andy, you tossed it up. I knocked it out of the park.
Little alley-oop action
Jesus.
right there.
Jordan and
Alley-oop.
Pippen, baby. Jordan
Yeah.
and Pippen all day long. It's the only basketball reference I know because I've watched
Yeah.
The Last Dance twice now, all the way through. Anyway, she gets up to the window, but it's latched, and the little paper airplane helps her get in. She runs in to find a really, really cool pillow room, which, if I'm ever a billionaire, guys, I'll be honest with you, I'm turning one of my rooms in my house into just a giant pillow room. Because how fun does that sound? Lay anywhere. You want to lay down right there? Boom, there's a giant pillow.
It
Turns out
looks
it's
so
a-
comfortable. Yeah,
it's
I would
very
definitely I want pillows to be all over me. I want to be just hidden in a giant sea of pillows. It just seems so comfy.
Sen overhears Yubaba telling them to throw Haku out before he bleeds everywhere, and then heads into the pillow room, which it turns out is not a pillow room at all, Kevin. I was mistaken. It's the giant horrifying baby's room.
Yep.
When Sen
Oh,
hides
man.
in the
Horrifying.
pillows, Yubaba lulls the baby back to sleep, and then when the lights turn out, the baby immediately wakes up and then goes, "You're gonna play with me." And Sen's like, "I don't want to play with you." And the baby's like, "I'm gonna crush your fucking soul and arm if you don't play with me." And Sen's
It
like,
goes
"Oh
from-
no."
It goes from being like freaky to being extremely scary. When the baby's like, "I'm gonna break your arm if you don't play with me," it's like,
oh my god!
oh fuck,
The-
okay,
the
no.
an-
So you're
the
not a
animation,
baby.
the sound,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the,
Those
the arm
babies.
kind of, arm kind of like looking like it was about to just snap.
Uh-huh.
Just
Which is one of those things where
freaky.
you realize suddenly, like, this isn't so much a baby as like this is like a giant baby body with potentially the mind of some adult that like you
That's
know
been kept
has
as
been
a baby.
spoiled. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just
You-
like
the baby
great.
spirit.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is great. I fucking hate this.
And you get a little bit of a dialogue, a little backstory on the baby here. She never leaves the room because there's germs out there, and she's a germaphobe, and mom won't let her leave
is
the
it-
room.
Was it a girl?
Guy, boy, maybe it was. I just said,
I don't know.
I don't know. It was. I guess it was Tara Strong, so I just said it was a girl. But whatever,
Oh.
it's a baby. We'll just call it Big Baby from now on. But let's see. Ooh, where are we? Evidently, yeah. Okay, so Sen threatens the baby with the blood on her hand. She's like, I got blood on. I got the poo on me. And then the baby was like, oh no, germs. And the baby pursues she gets out and she goes to help Haku. The baby pursues and threatens to cry if Sen doesn't play with it. And then the paper airplane comes back to in the form of Yubaba. Only it's not Yubaba, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the twist of the fucking century. It is Zeniba, Yubaba's twin sister, who is slightly transparent, but just a hell of a tennis player. You got to imagine that. Here's what the announcer would say, Andy. There goes Zeniba literally floating around the court. Just.
Oh, that's what the announcers would say?
Yeah, that's what they would say. One of those fun puns that. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That was a bad joke.
It's okay. It's okay, Nick. We're trying.
I mean, you gotta swing to hit a home run.
To hit a ball.
This part of the movie, just like, I just wonder, how do you even pitch this as a twist? Like, how when you're in the writer's room, like, and then a Yubaba lookalike comes in, and then turns the 3 heads into the baby.
Turns the baby into a mouse.
Turns the 3 heads into the fake baby. Turns the baby to a mouse, and the bird into a little tiny thing. Like, just a weird sequence of events in an already weird ass movie. I was kind of just taken aback and like, what the fuck is happening right now,
Andy? I think when we got past the giant crow with an old lady's head, the people at Studio Ghibli just stopped asking questions. They were like,
they just went with it.
Just go with it. Absolutely.
This feels like they had an all hands meeting and they were like, everyone give your ideas. There are no bad ideas. And like, people kept giving bad ideas. And it's just like, I mean, if you stick this all together, people feel like it's deep. So it's going to win an Oscar.
It's true.
Yeah, the bird, like, so the old lady with the giant head's gonna have a bird. How does the bird look like? Oh, it kind of has like her head on it too. Okay, like it's just a lot of weird choices.
It's like great. Why would it have? Why wouldn't she have a bird that didn't have her head on it?
Yeah,
maybe it was just a bird. Like that would be fun. Oh, we'll turn it into a bird later. A small bird.
Yeah, a little tiny bird. It's like a fly. Zeniba wants Haku's head on a stick for stealing her solid gold seal. It's magic and powerful, and she wants it back. And she put a curse on it that anyone who stole it would die. And now Haku's getting what he deserves. She claims that Haku only took the job with her sister to steal all her secrets, and he's a little theft. Of course, Sen doesn't like that. Haku wakes and slams his tail on the paper airplane, which gives Zeniba a giant paper cut. And I love this moment. She's like, "Oh no, a paper cut!" But it's all the way through her body and like cuts her in half. And then the trapdoor opens, plunging Haku and Sen into the boiler room. The little tiny bird, which I'm just going to call the fly from now on because it sounds like a fly, and the mouse join them. Haku is in a bad way, man, and Kamaji divines that Haku is bleeding from the inside. Something in him is making him or is hurting him. Sen offers Haku the medicine from the river, which is probably still upstairs eating. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sen offers Haku the medicine from the river spirit that she got. Haku barfs out Zeniba's, and when he eats it, he barfs out Zeniba's gold seal along with a little bad luck worm, which then steps on. Haku turns back into the boy, which in this is just like a really bad After Effects transition, Andy, where they're like, we don't have time for this, so just like do a little After Effects wipe on this thing, and it works, I guess. But it's just, I mean, come on, Miyazaki, you're better than this.
But to combat that, there were a lot of awesome 3D scenes that used like full 3D animation and models.
When they go on the train and stuff. That's true.
A lot of really cool shit.
The fly and the little mouse guy.
Love them.
Weird character choices, I will say. I love them a lot too. But it's just like,
you're also like, oh, that's the baby.
Like, that's weird.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of growth there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Emotional growth. Not
Tim, did you know that there's actually a cut of Mulan where the cricket is Mulan's sister?
I was getting a lot of Mulan vibes with this, with the cricket and Mushu.
There's a moment where the bad luck spell slug had been stepped on, and like her little footprint was there, and the little mouse puts his foot on there, and it's all like, and then
he's like, do it.
They do the, and he's like, oh, I'm okay. I love that animation so
really
much.
Funny.
So great.
Of course, Haku turns back into a boy, but he won't wake up because Zeniba put a curse on the seal. Kamaji gives him some Campbell's soup and gives him the backstory on Haku, who showed up out of nowhere and then was taken over by Yubaba. Sen wants to head to Zeniba and give her seal back in exchange for Haku's life. Her parents will have to wait, and this is a nice act of selflessness that we see here. Lin tells Sen she fucked up by letting No Face into the bathhouse, and Kamaji gives Sen some train tickets so she can take a one-way trip out to Zeniba. Upstairs, the foreman grabs Sen and takes her to No Face because he's been demanding to see her. The fly and the mouse come too because now they're homies, and Yubaba throws Sen into the room with the now massive No Face. Man is his mouth all drooly and stuff. And it offers her food and gold, but Sen is like, dude, I don't want any of this shit. I got something more important to do. Can we please just end this? And he goes, and then all she wants is to leave. And for him to go back to where he came from, but No Face is lonely and wants Sen so he can eat her. She gives No Face the last of the river spirits meatballs, and it barfs up poop, just like the scene in Joe Dirt where he goes, I got the poo on me. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if you haven't seen Joe Dirt, you're not going to like it.
Damn, I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah,
that was Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
I got the
too,
poo on
baby.
me. It's so good. That's one of the funniest. I real talk. I love that movie. And recently I watched That's My Boy with Adam Sandler, and I love that movie too. And you guys can't take those away from me because it's fucking COVID times. I need this. Anyway, he chases Sen out of the room, and Yubaba throws a fireball at him, but barely touches him. And then he barfs on her, and then continues to chase Sen out of the bathhouse, leaving black goo in his trail. Weakened, No Face barfs up the manager and the female assistant, and slowly continues its pursuit of Sen. When they get outside, Lin picks her up in a makeshift boat that looks, I don't know if these are real boats or not, but it looks like a bath, like one of the like traditional like bathtubs. And I thought it was just a cool little production design. And she goes,
the locomotion device where it was just kind of a rudder that she's kind of just moving over.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of work.
That seems fucking awful. I would hate that.
Yeah, it's not fun. That's definitely one of those things that Kevin would be like, we'd all look at it, and then we'd look at Kevin, and Kevin would be like, fuck you guys. And he would just do it, and he would be sweating. And Greg would be like, "Oh, it's fine," and then like
he would all be like, "Huh, it's faster than we thought," and I'd be sitting there like
sweating. And then somehow, for some reason, even though Kevin's doing us a solid, I still got to get a good dig in. I got to do something, just say something shitty to him that makes him just resent me more. Anyway, it offers her food. No, where are we? Oh, here we go. They chase her outside. Lin picks her up in the makeshift boat, and but they can't to get away from No Face. But Sen calls to him, and Lin's like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I think the bathhouse is making him crazy, and he needs to get out of there. He's not a bad guy. He's just misunderstood." When the spirit jumps down, he returns to his normal form and then barfs up the last little frog before he bounces. See what I did there? Frog, bounce, Andy.
Yeah, because frogs are well known for bouncing.
Yeah.
They
you
jump,
throw them at the wall,
Nick,
they'll just
they
bounce
jump.
off the wall. Yeah.
Any animal will bounce if you throw it hard enough.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right? The frogs are known for jumping.
Belinda, do you see why I am how I am? You can't let these jackals in for 1 second.
I'm just saying he's so proud.
Jackals.
Belinda, you saw how proud he was,
jackals.
but
I
wrong.
was so proud of that. I was so proud of that joke.
But like you shouldn't be, and someone needed to tell you. And Nick and Tim wasn't gonna do it. Look at him. Look at him. He was fucking gonna let it go.
I accept your criticism. It's how I get better. Lin drops Sen off the track so she can walk to the station with the mouse and the fly in tow. They board the train, but the conductor looks back and he's like, "Is this guy coming with you?" And she looks back and sees No Face behind her. And she goes, "Yeah, he'll come too." And he goes, She goes, "Fine, get aboard, jump aboard." Yeah. And apparently tickets, you have 4 tickets, anyone can come aboard, doesn't matter. As they ride to the next station, we're treated to more classic Ghibli scenery. It's beautiful. This is what Andy was talking about here. It's a mix of 3D for the water and then 2D for the backdrop. And I thought it actually worked fairly well. Cool. And this scene is just like, I just love this whole thing because it's kind of haunting, right? Like they're just, as the train progresses, we're getting treated to some nice visual storytelling where more and more people get off. And then finally it's just her and No Face and the 2 little dudes hanging out with her. And that they're all that's left of the passengers as they approach the final stop. We cut back over to Haku wakes up and asks about Sen. He doesn't really remember what happened. All he remembers is he was in a bad way and he followed Sen's voice back and now he's here. Kamaji tells him, "You know what they call that, buddy? They call that true love." I always thought true love, in my opinion, guys, I always thought true love was pooping with the door open, but I guess my wife was right all along. Yubaba is pissed, so she tells people to turn Sen's parents into bacon, but Haku interrupts.
His wife doesn't like it that he poops with the door open, but he thinks that's how he shows closeness to
He thinks it's endearing, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, though. Yeah. That's what my wife tells me.
I don't know why she doesn't like it.
Fuck.
These
Maybe it's not
interviews are
true
just
love then.
it's just one big personal story.
Belinda, that was too far.
Let me tell you guys about Laughlin, Nevada again, okay? Anyway, she goes, let's see. Night falls, they're the last on there. Haku wakes up, and he's, anyway, there. Yubaba is pissed. She tells people to turn the parents into bacon, but Haku interrupts and tells her something precious of hers has been replaced, and soon she figures out, oh my God, my baby's not here, and that baby over there is an imposter. It's really just those three dumbass heads that have been floating around that look like Nick if he could shave his head, if Tim would let him, but Tim won't let him. Anyway, she freaks, and the gold from No Face turns back to dirt, and everyone's like, damn it, we did all that for nothing. Yubaba frantically searches the baby's room and then threatens Haku with a fire breath with her fire breath. And Andy, I'm always a sucker for this in animation where the character's hair goes all fucking wild, so it goes all haywire, so it can show the power that they're about to exhibit. And
like Akira Tetsuo.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. Haku tells her the baby was taken by her sister, and she goes, my sister. And then Haku says, I'll get your baby back if you agree to rip up Sen's contract and return the whole family back to the living world. Yubaba agrees under one condition, that if everything's good, Sen has to pass one final test before she'll release her. And man, I'm telling you right now, Tim, for a second I was like, I hope it's a test of strength, just like the WWE program that you like to watch. You know, ooh, let me tell you, brother, you're gonna make me. Yep. That's how they say it, right?
And then they cut to No Face, and he's
program.
I will do.
There you go.
There it is.
It's back. It's
We
back.
got a laugh. Now I can retire that
Just
one.
to be clear, it did not get a laugh. We're
Nick
laughing.
finally
at
got
you.
his laugh.
One day the ants will get a laugh. We're gonna keep pounding on that pavement. Let's see. All that's set. It's good to go. Sen and the gang hoof it over to Zeniba's house where they encounter a hopping lamp, and that leads them to the cabin. I love the visuals here because when it gets to the cabin, the thing just hangs itself above the archway, the entrance, and then goes, here you go. Sen enters with no.
They're so good at making something that should be simple into the fucking freakiest thing you've ever seen.
Creepy.
Oh, a lamppost. Oh, that's cool. Oh, no. It's
Nope.
a hand that's jumping around.
Yeah.
And it makes the
World.
same sound as the Pixar logo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a reference to his homie, John Lasseter.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sen enters with No Face in tow, but Zeniba has been expecting them. She gives her back her gold seal and apologizes on behalf of Haku. And then Zeniba notices that this protection spell is gone. And Sen's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I squashed that. And then Zeniba laughs. She's like, that worm thing that you squashed was not my protection spell. That was put there by Yubaba to control Haku. Zeniba's protective spell can only be broken by love. And I'm like, damn, man. And then Zeniba asks, Sen asks if Zeniba will kindly change the baby and Crow back into their normal form. But the old bag laughs yet again. She's like, dude, that spell wore off hours ago. They just like being like that because they're small and cute and cuddly. And they get to do that cool thing that Kevin did where they just make fun of everything that's going on. But they don't want to. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Turns out being short in the underworld, Andy, is advantageous. You hear that, Tim? It's finally time for me, Andy, and Kevin to shine. It's our time.
Mhm.
Our time now.
I'm happy for you guys.
Goonies, 1985.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Andy's got it. You got
I'm like
Andy.
5'11", 6'2", 6'3".
Sure,
Okay.
sure. 5'11", 6'2". Zeniba puts out a nice little spread and then explains to Sen that only she can help Haku and her parents, but she has to use the power of memory. And then Sen sits in the corner and really tries to use that power of memory, but she's like, I can't do it. And Zeniba now she's like, call me Granny. And I'm like, all right, well, we're just playing loosey-goosey with who's grandma, grandpa here. But apparently Zeniba and the boiler room guy fucking got it on because they are grandma and grandpa to this whole land. She gives her a magical hair tie made from the thread that her friends have been weaving over there in the corner. And you're like, wow, that's really going to come into play. And it never does. A gust of wind outside alerts Granny to the arrival of another guest. When Sen opens the door, she sees Haku in his dragon form. Zeniba forgives Haku for stealing her precious seal, but only if he promises to take care of Sen. Sen gives Granny a great big old hug and tells her real name. She goes, my real name's Chihiro, before taking off into the night sky with the mouse and the fly. Where's No Face? That's right. No Face is like, you know what? I think this Granny knows how to party. I'm going to hang back here. We're going to let Granny get some of the old wine out of the corner, and we're going to have a fucking party. Come back later if you guys want to. You got Haku, when you drop her off, come back, dude. This shit's going to be raging.
When there's that moment where she's like, oh, you're so good at making string. And he's just like, it's like, oh, all right, cool.
Cool.
Cool. As they fly.
What a terrifying creature he created that like
Scariest thing
doesn't
ever.
come from mythology.
Nope.
It's just
Not at
some freaky thing that he
Just
was
his
like,
dome.
I wish he just didn't make any noise. It would have just been so much better. Just no noise.
would've.
Yeah.
No face,
Yeah.
no noise.
Tim, do we
No,
know
but
whose
Belinda-
voice that was?
It's a good question. I'll look it
Now,
up. for you.
Belinda, are you saying that you wish he didn't have a voice because it would have been better in the movie, or this review would have been better?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I
Agreed.
frankly think that
Agreed.
we doing
A
the
personal
voice has
attack
been
on all of
better.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A personal
And
attack. on
frankly,
all of
I'm
us.
upset that you haven't done your rendition of the voice.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
being honest with you,
Belinda-
Belinda. You've come
Because
on.
we expect that
Nope.
from Tim. He's not a team player. Look at him.
No.
No.
with
Tim
his
doesn't like
Bob
good
stupid
voices.
Bergen is
Bob
the
Bergen.
voice, who
Bob
is
Burgers?
also the voice of. He's the current Porky Pig.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
You think when people ask him about Spirited Away, like, hey man, I heard you were in Spirited Away. He's like, no, I wasn't.
No,
No,
I'm
I think
sure
you were the one that
No,
did
he
the
just
super creepy
answers
voice.
in the noise.
that's how I'm sure he's just like.
Chihiro loses a shoe to the sea below, which triggers a memory for her from back in the day, on a time when she was living in the real world and she lost a shoe in a river and she went in after it and almost drowned, but the river saved her and she finally remembers Haku's real name. She goes, "You are the Kohaku River. You are the spirit of the river." And someone tore that, and then that river apparently was torn down to put up some sort of condo complex, and you lost your memory forever. And this is bonkers. And Haku's like, "Shit, you're right. I totally remember that now. Awesome, good pull." Sen and Haku returned the big baby to Yabuba.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah, he was
Oh,
like, "Yeah,
cool.
go for
Good
real.
pull.
That's right, dude. Good shit. Good shit."
They return the baby to Yubaba. The only thing left is to give Sen that one final test. Big Baby, of course, steps in and tries to stop him. She's like, "I won't love you anymore if you do this." And but then Sen's like, "Listen, dude, a deal's a deal. Even though I did not make this deal and I have zero context for this, but apparently this is what I'm doing now." Yubaba takes the girl over to a group of pigs and tells her to guess which one is her mother and father. But there must be some mistake, guys. You're trying to pull one over on them, because the answer is C, none of the above. And she goes, "Is that your final answer?" And Sen goes, "That's my final answer." And then poof, the contract disappears. And Sen is
The last
free.
stupid thing.
Haku wastes no
Wait,
time. He grabs her hand and they rush to the edge of the town. What's up?
Quick question, just something I thought about right now. Why is the big baby wearing the outfit that he is wearing?
Oh, he's just in like a where
it's like
just
a
it's
onesie
literally
with a
just
thong
covers
in the
his
back.
yeah.
Buns out, dude.
But
Could you-
like,
could you-
is that a thing? Is that how babies like wear clothes in Japan?
Well, if your baby's got a cute butt, why not? You got a cute butt
I
baby.
don't think this is a hill you want to die on, Nick.
No. I'm just saying like
No, I'm just saying like right
Baby
now you
butts
have
are
the
cute.
chance to take that back. You know what I mean?
Come on. They show the cute baby butt, even though it's giant. And you have to imagine when it kikis, it's just easier to clean up. They grab that
I
big
have a
scrub
feeling that it
you
splits
and Tim are
everything in
gonna brush.
half, like a Play-Doh. You know, one of those Play-Doh machines.
Ew,
Yeah.
it just comes out like brown,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, Belinda, you wanted this. Let's
Did
see. Haku wastes no time. He spirits Sen away over to the edge of town.
Spirits away.
And then, exactly. And
we
the
really
water.
are the Last of Us.
We are the Last of Us. The water has now disappeared and been replaced by the lush greenery from earlier. Chihiro doesn't want to leave, but Haku assures her that he'll be fine. He's got his name back now. No more being Yubaba's servant. Chihiro climbs over the hill and spots her parents waiting down below like nothing happened. They walk down the long hallway and discover that the car is there. But guess what, guys? Was it a dream all along? No, because the car is covered with like a week's worth of dust and
Crazy.
bushes.
Which
and,
is terrifying because they're gonna get there. All
Crazy.
their stuff is probably gonna be sitting in their house, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, weird." And then later they're gonna be like, "Wait, a week went by? What happened?" And she's gonna tell them, and they're gonna be like, "I don't
You're
believe
insane.
you,
Our
but
child's
there's no,
insane.
there's no rational explanation."
Oh my God, it'll be exactly like Wizard of Oz going to Return of Oz, where she has this
Exactly.
crazy adventure. She tells the parents, and the next thing you know, they put her in a mental hospital.
Okay, but
Good.
the difference, Tim, is time passed in this movie, and it didn't pass in that movie. So in that one, it makes sense for them to be like, "What? That's impossible." In this one, they're like, "What happened to that week?"
It's just like the end of Contact. Let's see. Chihiro
Because
takes
the camera,
one.
Tim,
final-
remember the camera? Like
Mhm.
18 hours of footage. Static,
Chihiro takes
yeah.
one final look into the darkness of the tunnel behind her. Her mom calls after her and tells her not to get. She's like, not to be scared of getting in the car and going to their new place. And then Chihiro runs out of frame. And we hear her get into the car. And we watch from the perspective of the car as the tunnel disappears into the distance. And as they head back down the dirt road, her father tries once again to reassure her, saying, "Hey, new home, new school. It is a bit scary." To which Chihiro replies, "I think I can handle it." The end.
The end.
I got that shit. Don't worry
Give me a little
about that.
Hoku in review.
7 syllables in the middle. You need 5 for the first and last line. If it's not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. His name is Haku.
You can go to patreon.com/kindafunny to write your review in haiku form, just like Lee Polero did. Parents are fat pigs. New boyfriend is a river. It's been a weird week. Good one. Homebrew Coffee.
Crazy week, dude.
Homebrewed Coffee says, is this a fast film? Theft, a 4-wheel drive Audi, and they be hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah.
I do love that they actually have the Audi symbol in this.
I thought that was a weird like product placement.
Oh, that was awesome. I was like, maybe
just
got some money from Audi.
okay.
Fuck yeah, dude. Make some money.
Yeah, it's a cool car though.
Andrew Feisner says, parents be gluttons. If exists the milk mommy, so does pork daddy.
Oh, yeah. Which one? Who's pork daddy? Is that Greg? Greg be pork daddy?
I don't.
Yeah, let's make Greg the
know,
pork
Louis.
daddy.
Could we just have a pork daddy come naturally? Like, let's not force it.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, we never force jokes here. Kind of funny.
It's against
Andy
our-
had those ants
like
doing
fucking-
the whole thing.
Damn it, Nick! I had a good transition with that.
Yeah.
Let's do a little MVP action. Right now, the list goes, yeah, cool, from Princess Mononoke at number 1, which is an excellent call. Just want to say. Number 2, the Dope Daddy from Totoro. Number 3, Fujiko from Castle of Cagliostro. Number 4, Fio from Porco Rosso. Number 5, the Pirate / Dola from Castle in the Sky. Number 6, Osono from Kiki. And number 7, Tato from Nausicaa.
I would like to nominate No Face, and my reasoning being,
Yeah.
No, but he's fucked up, Kevin.
Yeah, no.
No face.
No face. I don't have a good answer for this one.
I mean, it's got to be Boiler Guy. It's got to be Boiler Man.
Yeah.
I
agree.
still think, damn it, Haku? Yeah, Haku.
Yeah.
I think Haku is the guy. Like, he's the guy.
Lin was pretty good too.
Oh, Lynn's pretty good. Too.
Lynn's fine. I feel like
Like-
she was content with her staying there for her entire life. You know?
Yeah.
And I
I
feel like
agree.
Hoku was the one that was like, I mean, I don't know. The Boiler Guy did definitely help, and he also came in clutch. But I feel like the connection for Boiler Guy and our main protagonist here was made by Hoku, you know? Being like,
But I
that's
feel
that
like
dude.
whenever we are giving out MVP, it has to be to somebody who isn't sort of this main character. And even though, granted, Haku isn't in a lot of the movie because he's mostly in bird form, just kind of hurting stuff, I still feel like he's
dragon form.
kind of. I feel like he's kind of the co-star, along with.
I think he's definitely like he's the secondary story where like he's off on a journey. We could get a different movie from his perspective, and I think that'd be interesting to see what he's doing on the side.
I just want to see her and Haku meet up again. I'm really sad that.
You don't think she went to the river afterwards? Like as an adult, would go and hang out where I guess
Yeah,
the
but
apartment
you're
complex.
not gonna see shit in the real world, bro.
Yeah, but she'll
drink
feel
the
it.
water.
You know.
Anyway, I think it's Boiler Guy.
Belinda, who do you think it is?
I think it's Kamaji, Boiler Dude.
Boiler
I'm
Dude
going-
it is. Where are we putting
Boiler, dude?
Where are we putting
Fuck
Boiler
you
Dude?
guys. Put her
I
over-
say right under Fio from Porco Rosso.
I'm down for that.
So
Yeah.
above
Who's
the
above?
Pirates.
Oh, above the Pirates. Yeah.
Pirates. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down
Boiler
for that.
Guy. Spirited
Just the
away. Just a cook. Now it's time to rank the movies. Currently, number 1, Princess Mononoke. Number 2, Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. Number 3, My Neighbor Totoro. Number 4, Kiki's Delivery Service. Number 5, Castle of Cagliostro. Number 6, Porco Rosso. And number 7, Castle in the Sky. Where y'all want to put this one? Spirited Away.
above Totoro.
Let's hear. I want to go right here, guys. Remember. Let me bring you back to a little indie film called Avengers Endgame. Iron Man looks over at Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Is this the one?" And he goes, "Number 1."
And number 1, really.
No, yeah, no.
I agree
I
with
would-
Nick, actually.
And here's my thing, guys. Like last week, I saw Princess Mononoke, and I'm like, this is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I still stand by. Princess Mononoke is more of my favorite. Spirited Away is better. Number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, boy,
Alright, well,
Tim,
the
get
one
on the
that
right
have
side of
it
history.
sucks movie. Come on, guys.
Are you
over
serious
Mononoke?
right now?
Come on, come on.
Over
Damn, dude.
Mononoke?
Y'all
Here's my thing.
idiots.
I love
all of you.
Mononoke is dope as fuck. so fucking dope. So fucking dope. And it's
Great
like
film.
everything I love about a movie. But this reminds me of those 80s movies and early 90s movies of being a kid. And I'm an adult watching this. And it's like fucking bringing me back to that. Like, it's not just nostalgic. It's like transporting me into the world now. And I love that. I didn't know that was possible. And there's just every single element of this movie comes together in a way that just feels different than anything we've seen before. Whereas I think Princess Mononoke to me is just a 10 out of 10 version of things we've seen before.
Yeah, but I don't
Both
think
very close.
I don't
Both
think
are fucking
different means
awesome.
better. Is all I'm saying.
I am
think
much
different.
I am
means
much
better.
more I am much more on the side of the story that is sort of this environmentalist story where even the bad guys aren't necessarily bad guys and they have motives that they're trying to survive as well, and they're trying to knock down these forests in order to keep their kind alive and stuff. I just prefer that story along with the two protagonists. I don't know. I think Mononoke is just so much more enthralling, whereas this movie just this movie got me emotionally at the end, but it's still kind of just everything thrown at the wall, and you enjoy it because it looks beautiful. And
I
that's
think I
kind
like
of
Spirited
where I was
Away
with it.
because it's more of a hero's journey and touches on more of an internal conflict and then an external conflict.
Mhm.
Also, there's a lot less violence, which is
But
always
Does
more
it
my
touch
thing.
more on an internal? Because I feel like all of it is based off of like things affecting this main character who doesn't change the entire time, right? She stays who she is. And
I feel like she doesn't. I think that's the whole point of the end and her being like,
oh, she's braver.
yeah, well, they were like, you don't have to give her the test. She's like, no, give me the test. I got it. Whereas like
Yeah.
in the beginning, she was just so like, the
Wouldn't go in the
moment where
tunnel.
and then the moment she can't stand up, I took that as like, I can't do this. There's too much pressure. Like
Mhm.
she has to save everyone. She has to save Haku. She has to save her parents. And she just does all of that. And in the beginning, when she's in the car, because the scene in the car, she's just like, I don't want to do this. I want to stay. Why do we have to leave? And she's like very whiny. And at the end, she feels more in control of kind of the unknown that she's going into. And I find that a really compelling story. A lot.
I like it too. It's more cerebral, right? I think Princess Mononoke is. There's no disrespect to that. It's a very, very beautifully, perfectly done film. But this is a little bit more of a thinker, and I think it uses the medium a little bit in more new and crazy, weird ways. Just like those '80s movies back in the day, where you'd watch them, Tim, you're like, I don't quite grasp this because either maybe it's too bananas for me, or maybe it's just a little too deep for me. Where I think this has a lot more depth to it. And again, Mononoke has a tremendous amount of depth, but I just feel like this is a little bit more art than Mononoke was. With Mononoke to me was a little bit more like kind of classic Hollywood storytelling. And I just vibed with this, man. I just like that. It reminds me of literally the end of Time Bandits, where this poor kid has been put through this whole thing and his house burns down. And you think, okay, well, that's the worst that's going to happen to him. But then no, his parents have been turned into lobsters. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
They never save the parents. This kid is just fucked. And that kind of stuff sits with you, like, I don't know why I got to unpack that. We got to peel that onion a little bit. And
every
that's what
time
I
you
found
say
myself doing here.
Every time you say that, it makes me want to watch Time Bandits, which
It's
I've never
great
seen.
film. It's cool.
So Andy, where would you put it on the list?
I'll put this above Kiki's.
So under Totoro?
No, I'd put it above Totoro.
Andy, we're in the
So
same
under
spot.
Nausicaa?
Yeah, under Nausicaa.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The new ranking of Miyazaki's movies so far. Number 1, Spirited Away. Number 2, Princess Mononoke. Number 3, Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. Number 4, My Neighbor Totoro. Number 5, Kiki's Delivery Service. Number 6, Castle of Cagliostro. Number 7, Porco Rosso. And number 8, Castle in the Sky. Next week, we're doing Howl's Moving Castle. Only 3 left. Exciting times for everyone. Remember, next week, we're doing Tuesday for Howl's Moving Castle, and then Friday for the new Mulan movie on Disney+. All of that's very exciting stuff. Until next time,